Google Pixel 7 Pro 新登場。写真の編集もあっという間に消しゴムマジックで囲ってタップして、ほら魔法のように思い通りに Google Pixel 7 Pro。
Taking a look at the map and where Circle's going to be pulling, we don't have a beacon in that north building, north of Fragment West, where we usually see it get contested very early on. But since it does look like we're going to be having a North Circle here, Tiff, I'm looking at the squads that are going to be contested in the choke points exiting out of the southern part of the map as we look at Aurora, one of my favorite teams to watch because they're rocking a comp that you don't really get to see in the other regions. They're rocking the Caustic, whereas you see a lot of teams usually rocking the Watson and the Maggie and the Wraith. I know one of Fallout's favorites out here, where instead of using the Pride and True Valkyrie for the Skyward Dive, instead you really have a portal to get out of pesky situations for those rotates.
Yeah, but I feel like Aurora, with the aggressive nature that they have, not only would they use that portal to get out of those pesky situations you mentioned, they might actually use it to portal into an engagement and have that kind of safe retreat behind them. The only issue with them having that Wraith on their team composition is that they're probably the only one in the lobby with the Wraith, so you can be easily identified by the other teams in the lobby.
Yeah, that's nice to highlight too. I believe we also have one Gibby, one Ash, one
お疲れ様でした。ありがとう。
Rampart, so a plethora of characters to actually look at in this lobby that a lot of these other teams are taking out. I know we've been seeing some composition swaps in other regions while we move into this final week here in the Pro League, and it's interesting to see how some of these squads looking at Optic Gaming in North America to try things out at the very end here. But with Aurora, they've been sticking to this comp basically on World's Edge, and I believe seeing their results, they have gotten the best results on World's Edge versus Stormpoint, so it's nice to note that Aurora have been able to find something different that allows them to make things work.
I will take that.
It could be that Wraith is just more beneficial on World's Edge, shorter distance between the POIs, utilizing the Void when necessary to jump into some of these buildings. And as they kind of make their way through Fragment, there was a beacon over there, so that is going to be able to give them information if they had that kind of recon character to let them get it. But unfortunately, they're just continuing towards north. And Vicky, I want to just one of those moments where we get a big hit on Climatizer.
You may have cursed it, Tiff. I hope not. We saw so many of those Climatizer finishes in the very first week. I like to see a little bit of a mix-up because I'm still reeling from that moment. But as we also tune into a squad like Nightmare Esports, this team has a lot on the line today. They're sitting on the cusp of not qualifying into LAN, and if there's a team that could be consistently second place finishes, it could be a team like this. I know one of their teammates actually on Twitter had tagged us, letting us know, you know, Nightmare, they're pretty consistent on getting second place. As we tune into actually early fighting going down here, it's going to be Forge losing out on Phoenix, and they came out on top. Phoenix Legacy, the first squad to go out in this lobby.
アンチどこ？これつけっぱだったこれゲーム。アライアンスどこいんの？火力レスラーの人たち。あ、今日アライアンスいないのか。どこ見ようかな。どこが強いの？パイオニア？パイオニアはもうグレスクの配信見るか。出ただけで戦ってんの？まあ仕方ないね。
Here, if anyone needs to take it.
Okay.
Like I got only 40 shots on my sentinel.
世界大会でピノタ聞かせるよ。
I almost broke my drone, holy shit. I got 7 away, max.
金で分かるもんなんですか？まあ、構成かな？
Get 7 more on it.
金じゃね、あ、でも金で分かる場合もある。
Alright, let's go, boys. We're chilling. Good spot. Good
Yeah,
job.
we're chilling.
Nice,
Good spot.
nice. Very
I
nice.
don't see anyone coming.
My drone is broken right now. Fighting over here.
ピンキーさん、俺はゴミってタイトルでやったよ。
Max, you have a scope on the sentinel or no?
ここ守るんだ。
Apex.
If you stand on me, maybe you have LS. Maybe you can climb up here.
なるほど
Yeah,
ね。
yeah, yeah. Come up here. You have shots. Insane.
奥側はあれか。他のチームがいいのか。ほんとだ。
Landing them, Max.
違うチームがいるよ。
Nice smack. So good. One more.
エンバーってチームがいるね。
Someone landed close. No, they landed in survey. Keep shooting here, I guess.
Need to rotate in, play it
Getting the
safe,
7 damage.
but they're also going to have to couple it with
強いもん。
eliminations, and especially we got Gaming Gladiators just on the very outside
で
of
も
the
俺
ring, still
眠いよ。
down by lava
眠いけどやっぱ
need to
一
get
人
to the
で
harvester. They have the inkling that someone
なんか
is in
お酒
front
飲みながら
of them,
見ようかなと思ったら
so this
あやっぱ配信
could
しようっ
be
てなった
an interesting and tough rotation for them. Although they are just outside, they want to make sure that they can get
プロも入った
Yuri
し
back
い
in
つ
the
でも寝れる。
game without drawing a lot of attention to
なんか
themselves.
ガス悪い。
Yeah, this is just gonna force out a lot of guns that at least has 2 medkits to work with. But if they can get Leogri into this game, they can at least try to reset. I believe that start of
どうぞ
five
今
who
お
are
酒飲んでますよ。
rotating outside of Harvester,
今ね
and
トリスのハイ
Harvester
ボール
does
飲ん
have
でる。
that beacon over to the side. Once we take a look at that map
あ
we
んま美
saw
味しくない。
earlier on, yeah, you can see it right there on the mini map. So not only will Gaming Gladiators be forced to use their meds, but this is a give and take situation for this squad where they
ノ
can
ース
get
パ
the
ッドっす
beacon
ね。
control, they'll know where the next circle is pulling, and they can get
い
Leogri
やあれ
right
惜しかっ
back into
た。
the
あれは
game.
ねちょっと俺のミス。
Fire Beavers and a
生
little
ハ
bit
ム、
of
うん
scuffle.
生ハムクソうまい。
Damage being taken on the side of Fire Beavers, but they do have 2 downs
止まんないなこれ。
already. Just need to find the
生ハム。
third player. Arcstars going out.
も
They
っと買えば
are
よか
able
った。
to redeem themselves and
そう
go
サンセットはゼータに出しと。
on the fuse knuckle clusters coming out. This is
タ
just
スクマス。
detrimental for the team on the other end, and it's
あ
going
シ
to
ン
be
プ
the
ル
end for
そうだね。
V2.
V2 out. I'm getting a little bit of my
シン
PTSD
プル
from
タ
the
スク
Winter
なんちゃらが
Express.
元
Even though the train's
デー
broken
タ
down
だね。
out here, it's the
このファイヤー
the
ビ
fuse
ーバーズ。
and the knuckle clusters, and of course the mortar flame coming out here too. But Fire Beavers cleaning up that
サンセッ
fight
トも
real
ゼータだ
quick
ね。
allows them to secure this north side of where the circle is going to be pulling. And since it is actually pulling away from Climatizer towards the north side of the train tracks, they have a nice, pretty easy rotation into the north side. Well, they'll have that slight high ground over the other squads that are going to be rotating away from Server Camp and Epicenter.
Ooh, that'll be a really interesting rotation for a lot of the teams that are trying to find themselves all the way towards the north of Survey Camp, because that is likely going to already be occupied by a plethora of teams. But a little poke fighting damage from this beautiful free cam thanks to our observers. Turkish Stars are the ones that are just basically griefing the team on the other side. A little bit of a split pull by them. You can see that Foes is just really anchoring in this moment, but I really think that's a good move for the other team to take to the sky. Not really connecting on a lot of shots, but Scars needing to find themselves on the rotation. They do
このかぶ
not
ってる
want
と
to
こ
get
ろ
caught
火
out
力は荒いやん。
Yeah, talk about the 2 squads that absolutely need to perform. It's Scars and
ドームキャッ
Turkish
チャーはわ
Stars
かんない。
out here that are actually at risk of being relegated into the qualifiers. The
Scars
Scars
も
taking
2人
to
変わ
the
ってる
sky
から
zone,
ね
they're
こ
going to be
れ。
able to secure a building over here in Skyhook. Taking a longer approach into the circle, though, ensures that they are going to be able to at least get some free rotates. They're going to also have
オーロラ
the
強いね。
ability to use that seer passive to see if there's any other squads that are going to try to gatekeep them. But this should be a nice secure spot and rotation for Scars to make their way into Skyhook. Now,
NA
the
見たいけ
question
ど
is,
さ、
which of the teams are going to be waiting for them by
NA
the open mouth of the
朝
train
7時なん
tracks
だもん。
that lead into that middle area where a lot of the squads
遅
are
い。
fighting for control on the outskirts of Survey Camp.
That is a really good point, and I'm just curious if
絶対
maybe
起きれ
they'll
ない。
take to the north of Skyhook and go through the chokehold on the very upper side. A little more risky, because I feel like that one is
いや
going to
生ハムもう一個
be
買ってくれ
easily
ばよ
held
かっ
by
た。
another team that could gatekeep them. So Scars really have their work cut out for them, and I feel like just bide your time, come up with that game plan,
生ハムの
let
高い方買った。
them
2個あ
flow,
って。
because I really want to see
V が
Scars
違う。
do incredibly well here.
They have to perform. They are
ハーデッ
taking
クいいよ
some
だよ。
shots right now. I believe that's game or that are on the other side of Skyhook. We can see it
スカー
in
ズあれだ
that
よ。
mini map earlier on.
あ、スカーズね、ハーデッ
Preview
ク
of the
は
Scars, noting that there is that team that could potentially circle keep them. The
ゲー
circle
ミン
is
グラ
also
ディエ
going
ー
to
ター
continuously pull way more to the right. Nice shots here from Aimbot with that G7. One of my favorite weapons to use out here. And the Elster from that far away.
注目
Must
チー
be
ムや
a
っぱ
nice
ハーデック
shot
たち
that
に頑張ってほ
that
しい
Scars
な。
are working with. Nice recoil control over on the other
ゲー
side
ミン
too.
グラ
But
ディエー
just
ターズ。
poking a little bit of damage. Aimbot now taking a look at both
苦
teams
手なんだ、
that are
生
kind
ハ
of
ム。
circling around where their rotation would be. I think the squad that
まあ、
is
オー
on the
ロラ
high
と
ground may be
ゲーミング
Forge,
ラディエー
which
タ
is
ー
a
かな
good
俺
spot
は。
for Forge to be in,
あんま知らない。
especially with
あ
their
と、
team
パイオ
top
ニア、
being the Watson.
元
But my
GMT だ
question
ね。
is, with a lot of the noise also
フ
being
ェンネル
made
とお
by
菓子交
Forge,
換したチ
there's
ーム。
already squads in the northern area of those train tracks that are getting a whiff of that fight.
Yeah, this is really peculiar. Game Lord, I feel like, is going on the aggression.
トリソーと卵焼き。卵焼きよね。
towards the edge to take on Scars, but this is going to open it up,
俺
like you said, to the
必
other
殺技
teams
の
in the vicinity where they're poking. Teams like
ホッ
Turkish
ケ焼きだ
Stars
っけ
that
ホ
were
ッケ焼
in
き買って
that
きた。
early engagement with Scars
必殺
are
技。
going to be rotating throughout this chokehold
絶対
area
お
in
酒に合う
the
じゃん。
POI, so they will
お
have
魚と
to
か。
contest with them here in Skyhook. There's no reason that all three of these teams are not going to int on each other at some point.
絶
And
対
predicting where the circle is going to be pulling here too, Tiff, we've sometimes seen the circle pull towards the south of the open mouth cave, north of
グラフは
that
まあ
recon
全然いい
building
と
that
思う。
I had
そ
mentioned
の
that sometimes has
視野よ
a
り
beacon,
簡
but
単だ
this
し。
time around it doesn't. And so if it does
まあ
pull
ウルトの
that
回転
direction,
遅
as
い
we
け
do
ど
see it actually pulling way more
まあ
towards
全然い
survey
い。
camp, this is going to benefit the squads that had exited out of
キムチ
Fractal
ね、
West, have made
なんか
the
ね、飽きちゃうんだよ
away
ね、途
from
中で。
Epi, and have secured a building already in survey. So it makes me question Scars and their rotations as they do know that there is a player right behind them, maybe another squad who actually managed to rotate.
なんか俺が
Stars
男を
actually who are on the back end. The
男
only
好
squad
き
that is
で
still rocking the
なん
Gibby
か
actually in this
凝っ
lobby.
てるみたいになってる。
Yeah, just a little bit of poke fighting. Minute 42 left on the clock, so they do have a little bit of time in their favor to decide which way they want to approach it. They could go through the tunnel at the south of Skyhook and take a longer rotation, but they would have to leave. Now you see Foes right there utilizing the smokes on the Bangalore to get the rotation in. Double time passive coming in absolute cut, so only able to take minimal damage, but Scars able to just get the first inklings of where these teams are pushing, and I feel like they're going to be one of the teams that if they don't start rotating now, these we
食べ過ぎると翌日
Yeah, you got a minute and
なん
10
ちゃら
seconds
ひどい
accounting
ですよ。
right now for Scars to make their next move, but they did
なん
force
ちゃら
Turkish
み
Stars to rotate through that tunnel, so they already
まあ
know
晴れるっ
that
てことか。
spot to rotate into
なん
the
か俺
circle
さ、
is going to be contested
2
to
日
the
前
south
から
side.
左足
There's
の
also other squads like Gaming Gladiators who
人差
lost
し指
out
が
early on on one of their
腫れてん
teammates
の
who
で、
made
かゆ
a
いの。
longer rotation out. So Turkish
お風
Stars
呂入る
now
と
with
痒
the
くなるの。
approach, you see the Bangalore smokes, you
まあ
see
で
the
も書
bloodhound
かない。
scans coming
ちょ
in,
っと書い
and pick up on
て、
a player
書
off
い
to
た
their
ら
right,
腫れ
and
る
they're
なと思
probably
って書い
finding
てな
some
い。
of those footsteps. So Turkish Stars also have to make the
むくみ
decision.
か。
Do they make the noise
俺ね、
before
足
getting
む
into
くむ
the
んだよね、マ
circle,
ジで。
or are they going to be able to try to capitalize and try to secure some KP?
It's a relatively
水虫
interesting
な。
first map of the day. 17 squads
急になんだよね。
up here. Pioneers getting into a little bit of an interesting scuffle here. Nasuke already throwing up the EMP, but let's go ahead and jump into our first listening of the day with the Pioneers presented by WD Black.
I'm not hitting anything.
塩分はほどほど。なるほどね、塩分か。塩分からむくみが。そう、冬になると、俺夏も秋もなんなかった。春も。 水虫なったことないかな俺。多分、あれだよ、霜焼けだよ、多分。だから隙間風でさ、足が寒くなんだよね。EU クリプトいるよ、割と。
Give one to me, give one to me so I can carry it.
APAC ノースか EU ぐらいかな。
Soon.
NA はほんと1チームぐらいしかいない。
Max Fish, I have a cure. I have 2 stacks of energy when you replace your sentinel if you want.
Okay. Yeah, later.
揚げ鶏とか食べる
Gonna
と
destroy the door, you asked me early.
なるよね。わかるわ。たまに食うやつでめっちゃうまいなるよな。
They're dying here, they're dying here.
One get died.
Newcastle died, Newcastle died, Newcastle died.
Okay.
I see him, arresting him. I will try to re-knock him.
Okay.
Yeah.
あ、見えない。
Bad art.
One of them knocked.
おお3発死んだ。いや、ランボーいないよ。ランボーって、いや、ランボーはあれだよ。前なんか助っ人やってたんかな多分このチームで。
Ah, fuck.
あれ ?3 セットがいいんだけど。GG に。
I'm gonna try to steal the skills.
てか、いつの間にパイオニアこいたの
My angel's so insane, but I'm like, fuck.
Just looking right here. No one's looking from this team. Wait, are they pushing? Flying?
ジュリスさん、NA だよ。
They get naded hard.
Yeah. TP. Right TP on us.
世界大会出場ありがとうございます。
Oh.
Well, a little bit of information in the hands of
EU が
Pioneers.
は遠い。
And Max Strafey with a Sentinel just
リリースは今日引退したけど、
laying down the damage.
またなんか
Vicky, I'm
CC だけやってる。
curious to see how Pioneers is going to make their move that they have all the time in the world just utilizing the edge of this building.
Yeah, you saw that slight trade too, with Ascend also getting a knock over onto
そう、フェンネルと
PCP, but
ストッポ
the
の
issue is
ゴール
once
で
these
シャドウファイ
squads
トし
have
てたの
already
は
taken control over these
GMT だ
buildings,
ね。
no squad is going to give up their own respective building. They want to be able to secure those buildings, especially with the amount of Watsons that we have in this lobby.
で、発射場でシャドウファイトしてたのが EU のリプライトーテムってチームと、今このプロリーグ出てるけど、リプライトーテムと、ApexLegends のストライクだったね。
Yolu, the young frag
バンガーもう流行ってるね、
on
どの地
doing
域でも。
everything that they need to do. I love the edge positioning. I love the ability that they are able to get this going. Turkish Star is also going to be eliminated.
実は上がってこなそうだけど
Where
な、
all those
今の
teams
感じだ
are
と。
making their late Valk rotate, such as Foot Esports.
おー、減るね減るね。
Now, as I say that, I feel like I just caster cursed them because
フェ
they're
ンネル
going to fall
22
to
だけど、
Nightmare
まあ、
Vicky,
スプリッ
which
ト
was
2の
one of
プ
the
ロリー
things
グ
that
出
you
場
had
権はある
mentioned
よ。
had
あ
to
るけどって
prove
感じ。
themselves here today.
Nightmare actually securing a building
CC はやんなく
themselves,
ていい。
and they need to get inside of that building quickly because you can see Game Ward on their tails right now. They have that slight high ground, and Forge, I believe, also getting out of that choke point by the train tracks. They also have to make their next move to see where they're going to be able to rotate because it's going to be a difficult rotate for them. But the
これ
nice
被るんじゃない？
barrage of
最初は。
grenades now coming in, pressuring Game
だから
Ward,
でもアライアンスが
losing
そも
out
そ
on
も
Yolu.
Bro finding a nice
まああんまり
onto
火力
Yolu. They're trying to
強い
get
チー
the
ムじゃない
res
から
back in as
勝てるよ。
quickly as possible, but not able to stick it just yet. This is a very
アライアン
challenging
スってボス
portion
は。
of the zone to hold. Sure, you can kind of tuck yourselves in behind this building.
問題はストッケなんだよね。ストッケがわかんない。
There's at least 3. You've got Nightmare on the inside and Forge really challenging Game Ward here. The question is, can they reset? But they're going to have to fight off Forge sooner rather than later because Fire Beaver's right now in that picture-in-picture map looking to throw down and control the most space.
They have the circle advantage. Not only that, remember we saw them rotate from the north side of the train tracks.
こんばんは。
uncontested
7
by
時間
any
長い間お
squads
疲
who
れ
saw
様
it.
で
It
し
wasn't
た。あ
really
りがとうござい
pulling
ます
towards Climatizer, and this is the only squad I believe also rocking the fuse. You
7
saw them
時
get a
間
knock
や
in
っ
the
て
face with the knuckle cluster. Game Ward
ちょっ
did
と
lose
休
out
ん
on
で
their horizon here, but they do have a bunch of meds to work with. Playing
EU
on the
ミラーっ
outskirts
て
of
俺
the
意識
building
高す
right
ぎん？
now that Nightmare Esports have secured for themselves. Game Ward have to take this fight with Forge because they have little no cover to work with.
Pioneers on your screen,
被ってたら1位無理
Jenny
かな。
up, but it looks like Forge is the one that's going to
まあ
come
メ
out
ンタルゲーだよ
on
な。
top of Game Ward, and they've won
メン
high
タルって
ground
勝率
here.
ゲーだ
They
よ
can
な。
utilize the building that Nightmare Esports is
ね、
having
見出しない
and
かな。
just
多分起き
play
てらん
the
ないと思う。
head peaks here. There's no real rush. Yes, the ring is going to come in, but you're going to
まあ
have
今
to
日何も言っ
walk
てない
in
けどさ。
and fight. You've got 3 Muppets and Ascend, which is going to make it a very long uphill battle to get to where Fire Beavers have the God spot. They're playing that rock on the other side of this, and honestly, this is Fire Beavers' game to win.
Yeah, unless they get griefed by another squad looking to rotate in, it'd be insane. But they also have Pride Rock to work with. Forge have taken the high ground. Jay Savage taking a nice off angle over Nightmare, who are stuck inside this building. It's going to be such a difficult rotation for them to make their way into that next circle with the circle closing into their backs. You got 6 squads left. You see the cracks come in, and you see Fire Beavers looking at all the action. They just cannot give up this space unless they have the opportunity to waver off the other squads. 5 squads left with Pioneers going down.
No, here's the issue. Taskmaster doesn't have enough ammo in the flat line. That's the issue.
いや、晴れたら今寝てるでしょ。今寝て朝7時からまあ NA だからあと3時間後ぐらいに起きんじゃない？ 3、4時間後に。ファイヤービーブスやばいね。あ、ビーバーズだ。まあここもっとゼータが2人いるからな。タスクマスター強いんだよな。
just unleashes. Now only 27 bullets left, Vicky.
Yeah, it's
Task master
Camoio finish out here, but he's got some extra ammo from his teammates. Has jumped into a quick listen in from Fire Beavers to see what their next moves are.
この人ガチうめえ。
Денис, мы сейчас все выиграем. Просто спокойно стойте. Смотри право, Лёва. Смотри право, я останусь посередине. Кирюха пройдет слева. Все.
Сейчас запиздятся, возможно.
Да, сейчас будут пиздиться, мы просто стоим, собираем все, что нам надо.
Я вот эти кошмарю.
Все, заебись, чилим.
Вам нужна
Наша игра.
Начали пиздиться, начали пиздиться.
Нет, я тебе заколю все, Кирюх. А
Я
давай...
левых очень жестко ебу, пацаны,
Да,
очень
у меня-
жестко.
Правая...
У меня есть моя ульта, послушайте. Будут идти, я кину ульту, чтобы никто
Есть,
не
справа не
пришел
выходит,
сзади.
справа не выходит.
Смотри, Смотри право, лево, смотри.
Вышли, вышли, туда, вышли, вышли. Вышли справа, тройка.
Ультуй тебе право.
Один на ХГ. Ждем, ждем,
Я
ждем.
убил двойку.
このチームボイチャー、エパックノースもあればいいのに。
You can hear those intense comms coming in, Tiff. You can
誹謗
hear
中
them
傷
all
があるか
trying
ら
to
かな。
let each other know, just to hold back a little bit, find these other squads, capitalize right now off of the pitch
Oh,
positioning that they're
強え。
forcing. The Fire Beavers come out on top
20
with their god spot on top of it
25
all.
ポイントぐらい
It's
取った
very
ね、これ。
obvious here that Fire Beavers had the best position that they possibly could have, with the other squads predicting a circle pull over by Cervicam.
Look, that was just an absolute textbook of a game, sharing ammo there for the end game to really allow themselves to hold Ascend out. And honestly, with the Fuse ulti, the Knuckle Cluster's rain day. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that because it was just impressive.
Well, it's the way Fire Beavers wanted
いや
to
さ
start.
EU と N 遅くね、リージョンファイナル。
When they take the high ground, they keep it.
19 日
And,
だ
you
よ。
know, the team comms, I'm not as fluent with
1週
what
間
I
後だよ。
heard there, but I will say it seemed like it was intense. Seemed like the energy was good. I think that Tiff, you might be taking a little break here. So let's bring back Vicky. We'll talk in game and we'll talk next game as well. Vicky, Fire Beavers kind of in a position where they needed to win. So it's great to see them start off in game one with that W. That's going to give them a lot of confidence moving forward, sitting just outside that top 9 that would qualify, even if they don't win match point, in 11th place overall.
Yeah, this is a team that has also just gotten better and better. The more we see them perform, it could be that they're getting a lot more comfortable. And this is also a squad that not only the only squad that we've been seeing rocking the Fuse right now in this lobby, but you could see with their smart rotation to make sure that their circles was to their back and that they were able to make sure that no other team was going to try to contest them for that north side of the railroad tracks, where they could have predicted where the circle was going to be pulling. And even if it didn't pull in that direction, it pulled more towards the north side of Cervicamp, they still would have had the positional advantage being on the high ground.
Well, Fire Beavers, they take the W. We'll get some highlights and conversation on that as we get ready for the stats of how it all turned out, because that's a good start for them. But who else caught your eye throughout the day? Because, you know, we started off, sometimes these teams, they start a little slower. Vicky, was anyone kind of catching the same pace you expected, or maybe something behind from how you might have thought they would start strong?
A squad that I definitely have talked about before, and I gotta highlight them again because it's another squad that's on the cusp right next to Fire Beavers, is Nightmare. They did secure that building very early on, but when the circle pulled away from them, you saw the likes of Forge out here actually pressuring them out when they were funneled outside of that building. Aurora with the quick rotation too, they were able to also rotate from the bridge side, try to get right through Epicenter, but a lot of other teams basically had that same plan and rotation, so they were caught in a lot of the chaos for the squads that were rotating outside of Fragment.
Game Ward, a team I mentioned needed to have some points here, and you can tell the early engagements coming in from our highlights. People were fighting. Forge already with 3 KP there. Would continue on. Gaming Gladiators would drop it around 16th, the team that has not performed to their best, and we'll see if they can continue off of maybe some of the confidence they gained from several tournaments they were able to play yesterday. Nightmare Esports, similar spot though, Vicky, have to get some results here, and it would be Foot Esports who go into this 3v3, kind of create a lot of chaos, and maybe some openings here for Fire Beavers to just be in that spot outside of this engagement. Pick up kills, but of course Fire Beavers were in the best position at the end of the game, and they didn't let anyone else try to get there.
I'm glad that you highlight Ascend because this is another squad that also likes to take final circle positioning, but they took control over the inside of that building. I believe they finished in 3rd, and here we have the results. Fire Beavers finished the first game not only with a dub, with 16 KP to their name. I saw that kill feed light up with the Knuckle Cluster. We talked about it a little bit, Tiff and I, in the game, but to see them finish with 16 is a great way to bridge that gap between themselves and the rest of this lobby.
That is unbelievable. Forge also popping off with a really good game. They're sitting just behind Game Ward and Fire Beavers with 43 points. Fire Beavers with 50. And just to let you know, qualification starts at 52. So a big win here. If Fire Beavers keep this up, they're going to be looking strong. Pioneers, Game Ward also having some moments. Let's take a look at the second page. Teams you wouldn't expect to be on that one. But hey, they play these atypical lineups, Vicky. So sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But esports, though, still getting 5 points after only 1 placement point because of the 4 kills.
Yeah, and then the Gaming Gladiators obviously didn't have the best start to their game. I believe it was actually Reply Totem that ended up in one spot higher than them, where they lost out on. It was one of their teammates, I believe it was the Horizon, very early on in that fight. So they were basically forced to play on the outskirts of the circle from the very beginning. Aurora, actually, like we talked about before, also got caught in the middle of their rotation with a lot of the squads that were in the northern side of Epicenter.
big moments. Phoenix Legacy, V2, teams that are in the
バカだからわかんない、そういうの。
in relegation series. They played very well yesterday. I got a chance
た
to
だ
see
ゲー
it.
ムが好きだからやって
Will
る。
not change the results. This is almost exactly where they are in terms of the totality
これ
of
さ、
the pro
8位なんだよね、キル
league.
数
29 out of 30 spots.
プロリーグで。
20th here. We'll see if they can
高くね、
show
俺。
Fire Beavers though in a strong start with Game Ward and several of the other teams that we have spoken about. This is a great way to get it going, and you know we are getting ready to take a quick break in just a moment. Game 2 will be coming up, and that will give us an answer. Will Fire Beavers keep up the energy and momentum? Will Phoenix Legacy pop off and have the moment to rise from the ashes? And who else will catch our eye? We'll find out in Game 2 coming up in just a bit.
こんだけで。こんだけで7や強くね。あ、ここでかいね、このリージョンファイナル。22キル。あ、これか。トップ10入ってるよ。9試合目から焦げたな、俺ら。9、11、12、13。
WD Black, the official storage partner of the Apex Legends Global Series.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here with the ALGS in day number 8 for year 3, split 1. How many of those can I say? All of them. That's right. I know what I'm talking about. And you know who else knows what they're talking about? Vicky Kitty. Let's bring her back in because it's time for game number 2 very shortly. Vicky, game 1, it was hot. And Fire Beavers in their element with a 16 kill game. They are at the top of the leaderboard now with 28 points thanks to the 12 they added from the first place. You couldn't have asked for a better start to the beginning of the day.
Yeah, it's actually crazy how hard they farmed in holding that north side of that circle. And you talk about how on fire they were, literally with the mortar flames from the fuse, the knuckle clusters coming out, cleaning up 16 kills in that first game also allows you to carry some of that momentum into game number 2. But that's what we have eyes on right now. Can Fire Beavers keep that up going into the second game?
That's always the question. But what you do when you have a situation like this and your Fire Beavers, a big 28 points. I mean, most teams in the bottom half of the 20 that play in any given lobby on any given Sunday in the ALGS don't even make it past 30 points. So Fire Beavers in one game have 28. They have set themselves up for at least a decent performance today. Can they win? Can they surprise everyone, push themselves into qualification for LAN? They're only 2 points out and they've got a game in hand. I think this is Fire Beavers with a chance to perform. And Vicky, we'll get a chance to see that as game 2 begins. Our teams start to fly out here, and we will make a move. Fire Beavers stealing the show in game 1. But a team I like to talk about, Game Ward and Phoenix Legacy sharing Skyhook. What do you see going on over here as the teams drop?
We saw that Game Ward were able to circle keep scars. It was a great rotation from Game Ward, but they didn't rotate fast enough. Unfortunately for Phoenix Legacy, they rotated maybe just a little too early. We saw them be the first squad to go down, as we also see the next circle that we're going to be having on our hands. And it's going to be a southern circle. And I love this because I was talking about it with Tiff. We saw too many climatizer end circles in that first week of the ALGS. We didn't see it this time around. It pulled a little bit over to the west side of survey camp. But now seeing a southern circle is going to actually benefit the likes of a send out, actually, that land and staging. Didn't see a beacon actually over to the left side by the choke point, north side of thermal station. So they don't have the next circle information, but that's probably going to be their next plan.
One of the interesting things about that when you're looking at that map,
あ、入りました。
you know if you play Apex, but you may not think about it. And Vicky just so eloquently mentioned the impact of how.
うわ、寄ってる火力。ずる。ずる。ここやん。いや、わかんねえ。いや、わからんな、これは。どこと読むパイオニア。
I have 132 for R400.
いや、わかんないぞ、これ。
See if you can check if you can see Kashira. Harvester just rotated.
いや、グレスクはいいや。
Check it.
こっちで見れるわ。忘れてた。
And we're fucking golden and we just beeline, okay?
Okay. I'm like a little bit behind you, and I
Need
have
a
white.
bolt if you find.
どこと見る
Wingman shit.
?KCP。
I am playing win one.
That's
They're
Kashira,
in
that's
the
Kashira.
car. Yeah.
Alt Excel here, I'm taking it real quick. How long's the back hold?
バコバコ。
84.
84。
Go via here, go via here. Yo, listen, we're gonna gamble. We're gonna. No, it's Aurora. It's Aurora. We go high ground. We go high ground.
ハイグラウンド。
I didn't actually
逆らい取るぞ。
anticipate them staying and staging for the zone without beacon. But it's fine.
I've got my ult.
そう、アドレナリンで寝れない。
I'm into you.
We're gonna go deep if we can. Take circle building maybe.
Alright.
あ、この速さなら
Kashira's
入れる
rotated.
な。
Take island. Take island.
Island's got fences on it.
Yeah.
Team on it.
Can we go deep? Can we go
Oh, no,
very
take
deep?
it.
Very deep. Very deep. Very deep. Land behind this
I
rock
don't
if we
have
can.
draw.
Land behind that rock. Oh shit. Emotes.
お、キンヘルクリプトやん。
Okay, we control all of this area. If anyone gets close to us, we fight instantly, okay? I don't
い
see
や、
there's
ワンチャ
anyone
ンこ
here.
っち寄る。ワンチャンこっち寄る、全然。
I haven't scouted, so I don't know.
賞味わからん。
Listen, if anyone gets close to us, we fight instantly.
Yeah, yeah,
EMP and we full send, okay?
I found purple. I'm good to fight.
We have good arm. There's a team over here. I'm taking the rock on me. We need to get
Okay.
ready to fight them.
Yeah.
We have EMP, we have full armor, we have everything we need, okay?
Okay.
I have win one volt.
They're close, nice. They're like at the 2-story, I think.
Yeah,
They're
he
at the
touched him on the
2-story.
now.
I'm
You
with
ready to
Max
full
at the
send them?
building right now.
Look at them. I have a flank angle.
Climbing up, yeah.
You
I'm
ready?
looking for them.
Is it
I
a
don't
good
see them
fight?
right now. Okay,
Yes,
they're
it's a good
inside.
fight. It's a very good fight. You
Okay,
ready?
I'm ready. Yeah, I'm walking up here.
やるのか、これ。
Arcing inside.
You have a gen?
Yes, they are.
They ulted.
Blue, crack Watson
Be
white.
careful.
Yeah.
ホワイトがやりたい
Take
な。
angle from the window. Or the door.
I crack one. I have to heal.
Yeah.
Take
good
angle
skill.
from the window. I'm 1 HP. I'm 1 HP.
I'm on the roof right now.
I'm
I'm
1
gonna try
HP.
rifle.
Try to chill.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Go back. We have golden helmets. We go next.
無理か。
I
go
don't
next,
have
okay?
fucking big batteries.
IGL グレスクなんだ
I
ね
have。none as well. I have Phoenix though. You want Phoenix?
こんばんは。
Yeah, we'll
We go
Maybe
next.
Jen
We
in
go next.
here?
Okay.
You want me to play in here? We're gonna play in here.
Yes, I guess so. Wait, I hear steps. Careful, Max. You scouting real quick?
こいついいやつだからな。
Team on high.
マジで。マジいいやつだよ、こいつ。
Team on height. It's 2 teams now. Fuck, man. We needed to fight them. We needed to win that.
It's really hard. It's
I
really
EMP'd too
hard.
early because they didn't have gen or anything. They're scouting
we space
everything.
this house?
We're playing everything, okay?
Okay.
Make sure these guys don't come close to us. They don't have gen, they don't have zone. We need to get an opening before they get close to us, okay? So that when we fight them, it's clean. They're scouting this house right now. To my Valko. Look at them for the Valko. Trying to break their
Okay.
zone.
I'm gonna kill from
Rotate
なんか
jet.
ハーデキたち、マジでファイト負けてんな。
But no
I'm
one of
sure
us have big beds. It's
なんでだろ
0-4.
う。もうなんかちょっと、ダメになっちゃったよな。
Behind that, or 36 rather, was KCP. Then we had Vision and we
オー
had
ロラ強いね。オーロラ何このコースね。
Heroes, excuse me.
レイスマットマギーコースティック。
6 and 7 went to Fire Beavers though, and Aurora.
まあ前のスウェーデンのスプリット2でもさ、レイス使ってたからね。レイスマットマギーとかいう。マジでここは なん
for
か
quieter
お
days.
かしい構成
As
が
of course, this is the team who is got a game in hand.
意味がわかん
And
な
they
い
are third place
何を
overall
根
in the
拠にこれにして
standings,
るのかわかん
only
ない
behind Vex and Ascend. That is how well they have played. One match day one, one match day in third place,
Scars.
a consistent top 6, 7 finishes in their other 2
どういうこ
games.
とレイマットマギ
Scars
構
can't stay
成
the same as they get eliminated in a 19th right now for this game number 2. I'm glad you highlighted Aurora because they finished in 11th after that first game, and they're in a pretty difficult situation here.
建物
A lot
強
of
い
the
な
squads that are
建物ファイトが
stuck
強い
in the
ね
middle in thermal that are forced to traverse through the lava area where a lot of other squads are going to be having you in their sights on the high ground. You already see that they used up the portal. That could have been a
まあ
great
細かいとそうです
rotation
ねあ
advantage
とまあレイ
that
ト使える
Avengers could
本
have
当に
used,
上手い
but
人
it looks
は
like
こう
they
やって移
used
動
that
が
portal to get out of a situation that they
まあ
wanted to
使えるね
avoid. Now the EMP coming in, you see the gas traps not eliminated entirely. They activated one of them before the EMP got unleashed, so that way they can hide behind some
さあ
covers,
アンチ
reset
は
a
ど
little
こ
bit
に
with
乗
those
りま
shield
すか
cells. And Ranch is also
真ん
looking
中
at some
横
of the
か
action happening to the
左
north
下寄
side
る
of
ね
thermal
こ
station
れは
where they kind of where they're going to rotate if they want to go to the southern buildings. They don't have that information though since they don't have a recon character, and they have to stay out of the line of sight of start of fight.
寒くなってきたネクストリーグ教えてよ
As Aurora look to deal with the problems from up on high. From up
ネクストリーグ教えて
on
くんないのか
high, start a fight.
うわこれ裏切ってるわこれ裏切ってるほら左下と読んでさ4パーティーもいいんじゃん左下にすでにうわこれ裏切ってんなこれは多分真ん中ちょい上か真ん中右じゃねいやでも真ん中左もあんだよねいやこれだいぶ裏切ってるよこれこれがあるから火力も怖いんだよね正直いやーしかも読む場所ない火力3の方しかない中継もないしこれはねどう勝つか分かんないねまあ真ん中上は安定して強いね
But when you don't have a good start to the season, Vicky, just having a chance to go back in the split 2 and do it again and make some adjustments, that is very, very valuable for teams like Start a Fight.
Yeah, and VZN too, of course. They had a very slow start to the season, but they've been able to ramp up very similarly to Fire Beavers, except they had a lot stronger of a start, so it was easy for them to build up a foundation in terms of just trying to qualify for LAN if they have a pop-off day. But I like how you highlight how some of these squads, even if they have their individual pop-off days, their goal is to at least stay in the Pro League right now. They don't want to be on the cusp like 3 Muppets, where they could be forced to play out in the relegations to qualify for Split 2. So with Foot Esports also calling out where the circle is going to be pulling, exactly where you see those Watson fences painting the south side of Thermal Station is where we've seen the circle end up before. But man, would it be ashamed if an EMP just deleted all those fences before their eyes.
It's one of those things where you do have a really decent spot that is hard to contest. People kind of have to aggro push you in a way where they give up any chance of retreat. They got to cross open distance, but you've seen skyward dives, at least I have, that get aggressive, that there's nowhere else to land, and they end up saying, I'm willing to take this 3v3. We just got to clear you out, and now we have a great spot. And so electing to hold that early on, Foot Esports throwing in a little bit of a wrench in terms of playing this without allowing teams to have an impact on them. They are going to be in a favorable spot that a lot of teams will try to poke away, and hopefully they have enough resources to be able to withstand that and any aggressive pushes that might happen. Aurora, though, they seem very content. Vicky, they're sitting here with Maliwan on the Caustic and Aurora Cleave doing a good job on that Mad Maggie with the riot drill, just pressuring Start a Fight, who are sitting on that tower above them. That's one of the benefits of this character, simultaneously having some defensive options and utility, but being able to be aggressive on those teams that just like to sit there and farm damage.
Yeah, especially if you're still using a blue evil shield right now. He literally 1 shot away from getting that purple. As Start a Fight still are looking at them, keeping them in their sights. But looking at one of the members of Start a Fight here, the weapon loadout between the car and PK means that they don't really have that medium to long range pressure that they want to work with. We did see a 30-30 repeater in the hands of one of those members as Phoenix Legacy still in this lobby. You can see 17 squads left as after their lackluster performance in that game number 1, they're looking to take a slower approach. They have the beacon, so they know where the circle is going to be pulling, but they're trying to contest the other later rotating squads that are going to be rotating from the outskirts of this circle. Looking at Fire Beavers actually who have taken their time. Heroes who are down a member Game Word as well, rotating through staging. If we could get that mini map pulled up, because you can see Fire Beavers on this side. Note that they're getting shot at by the likes of Phoenix Legacy that have that 30-30 in their hand. So they saw the shots, they see the fences out in front of them. But where is this rotation approach from Fire Beavers when they don't have the same intel that Phoenix Legacy have with the next circle?
That's right. Phoenix Legacy knowing they're actually going to be in a decent spot here. We don't have it on our mini map, but in terms of them, they know it's just around the bend. This house will actually end up pulling a little south of them. So Phoenix Legacy maybe getting a little too close and comfy before realizing the
やば。ここアンチや。ぐー。遠上？ガチ？
Impulse up onto the gravity lift, and at the fuse, raining down damage. The Arc Star hits as well, and that is going to be a knuckle cluster that at least buys them a little bit of time. I think OJ Rain spots out the player who's hiding behind the rock. And now just trying to finish off with a hit fire of the flat line. They'll get one, but OJ Rain and Fire Beavers have lost Impulse. He's got to clutch up, and Fire Beavers go down. Joke talks to him, and V2 get their first 2 kills of the day, and it's on our #1 squad.
They lose out on Nuba's side here, and the third party is now rolled up, but you know Joke is saying, I'm just better. Fire Beaver's out of this lobby, and Game Word looking to get involved right now, too. The Beast of the Hunt has been activated, so has the scans out here, and they're looking to chase down the last stragglers of V2.
What a moment for Game Word to take advantage of it. Fire Beavers go out. Good fashion for GW, because that's what they need. They've got to make some distance on the leaders. And this is how you do it. Psychop from range with the Bangalore. Smokes possibly being able to use to cover his tracks. Slow down this fight. We'll head over to Pioneers as well, as Game Ward still in that skirmish. KCP looks like they may be in trouble. Strafey having to pull off something spectacular in order to save Nasty and Dell, who is already down. The Watson out of this fight as the exhibit goes through.
Whoa!
That is gonna hit. The nade was there. What does that do in terms of an opportunity for Nasty? He brandishes the Baiwan blade. Do not tell me that might have been the best alley-oop we have seen in Apex Legends. Nasty gonna try to make something happen here, and he's holding this corner really well with the Mastiff. He hits 33, Vicky. May not be enough though here.
Can he pull it off? That was such a huge heat grenade all the way to the top by Max Strafey, and that always lands on your feet if you could pull that off. But if Nasty can clutch this after getting that shield off, this would be a huge chance. A nice side angle to clean things up, and Pioneers get cleaned up. Reply Totem come out on top, and now they have to try to restabilize the line of sight of a Rampart right behind that barrier that has that 30-30 in their hands.
Very, very good from Reply Totem to survive that fight. And throughout the entirety of it, you could see KCP trying to just make something out of nothing. It was almost over before it began, but that grenade really was stunning. Some of the moments you can have in Apex Legends with the intricacies of the interactions, the grenade up and down, the timing on that one. It was a beautiful sight to see. Too bad it didn't work out for them, and they will wish they had that one again. Game Ward ended up winning their fight. Pushing onto the team, able to take down Fire Beavers, and Aimbot's still in a great position here. On the Bloodhound, ultimate Beast of the Hunt, ready to be activated, and they feel content. They're on the high ground, and they're at the edge of the zone, so they could stay here, Vicky, for another round. As round 4 is about to close in, 1 minute and 28 seconds before a lot of teams have to get squeezed into this.
Yeah, Reply Totem also just get eliminated after that fight that we just saw against KCP. V2 gonna meet them right back in the lobby with 13 squads left. So down just a little bit here. Phoenix Legacy managing to make the rotation into this choke point. Again, patience is key for this squad because they knew exactly where the circle was going to be pulling, and it caught a lot of squads that were expecting to go way more south. Thermal station off guard. So this is going to benefit looking at where the circle is going to be pulling. The likes of Start of Fight, Aurora. Let's jump real quick into a listen-in with Phoenix Legacy to see how they're going to waiver off this squad right in front of them.
バルキリーの使い方がうまい。なんかゲーム IQ が高い。EU は。サッカーとかもそうだけどね、EU はね、頭いいプレイヤーが多いんだよ。やべ、箸落とした。 ね、グネス君とか調子悪くなってきてるね。どんどん下がってきてる。2位の注目チーム、俺はアライアンスかな。アライアンス、オーロラはまあ、安定で応援してる。パイオニアもね、応援してる。NA はなんか、全部兼ね備えてる。
There's only one. Yeah, come into it. Play jump for us. Where's the boxes? Over here, play now.
Yeah.
We're talking now, watch you on the right. Right, that.
Behind us from closer.
No way, yeah, I'm
うわぁ。めっちゃ混戦。
Yeah, who's creeping? Well, it was an uphill battle and a downhill problem.
Ascendo
not able to rise.
Ascendo Alliance.
It was Aurora who was doing most of the griefing.
Pioneer.
They will take an 8th place position.
Aurora.
Tough spot for them, Vicky. Tough spot for Foot Esports too. We have it all fenced up. They're under a little bit of pressure.
Korea's got the RE45 of the Rampage.
Split 2もありますよ。
From start of fight, who is the other squad rocking the fuse? You saw more
なんかね、
flame
複
coming
雑
in
なんよ
and the
ね。
Mad Maggie
なんか
tactical.
スプリット1プレイオフポイントとスプリット2プレイオフポイントがの合計でチャンピオンシップ出れるんですよ。プレイオフで順位稼げばチャンピオンシップっていうスプ2終わった後の世界大会にも出れるんですよ。ベックスのもやばいね。マタフェと、どうやっけあいつ。クソ強いやつ、クソ強いパッドがいるやつ。がいるとこね。元エンパイアはこれオーロラだよ、オーロラ。さっきのレイス・マット・マギー・コースティックだよ。元エンパイア。
And Foot Esports knows they have an opportunity here with a Kraber in their hand. This is a winnable game. They can play in front of everyone. Tower to the right.
テイラーか。
Occupied by
ホライゾンスカイ。
Fight
テイ
Esports
ラー。
Aurora on that low ground where they have been holding with the Caustic, as well as
ルー
the
ル変わっ
Mad
たの
Maggie. But up
わかん
on
ない。
top, still where Game Ward had held on
全
that
然わかんない。
northern side, on that ledge. There's still only one member of heroes.
チャンピオンシップがもうクソでかい賞金でです
Who
ね。
might be able to push
もう
in.
奥
We
行くっすね、チャ
highlighted
ンピ
them
オンだったら。
earlier today, Vicky. That and Ascend are the only other teams.
アッシュアッシュルどこ来たどこ焚いてんの
In the line of sight of Game Ward here, though, too, you have to worry about that G7. Put Esports in some trouble, losing out and not, but they're going to be able to move into that next circle. The circle closing in right behind their backs. See them desperately now trying to clear up some space, but with other squads looking at them, there's 5 squads left in this lobby after Heroes gets eliminated.
いや、聞い
Tough
て
decision
る
from
ここ
Booyah. He
終
goes
わ
for
り
the
やん
grenade, thinking someone might be there, and he has to move forward. Takes the
終わり
damage
やん
from his own grenade. Ascend up on top. Look at how easy this
アセンドいる
is.
んか
Talk about Ascend and why they are so good. It's because they put themselves in the best positions to win.
普
But
通
don't
は
forget
平等だっ
about the
たよ
other
うな
team that
気
has
が
been in a
し
great
ます
position the
ね。
entire time. Aurora underneath Ascend now, and Game Ward
平等だ
up
った
on
気がす
top.
る
Where
け
you
ど
can
な。
see Lufka training and aiming his sights up above with the G7 Scout and the charge rifle. Ascend in their second place position again, find
何
themselves
オーロラ下にいる
to win it.
レースポータルで
But there's a lot to
こ
go
の
up
チーム
against.
さ
And
登れなくね
Aurora, not in the best position.
こ
But
の
it
チー
looks
ム
like
登れない
Game
やん
Ward and Ascend are just going to go at it. This might leave an
登るキャラいない
opportunity
し
for Aurora to come in late.
Aurora, I don't even think have an opportunity to even get on the high ground. They just have to play for second at this point with Game Ward now having to try to face off against Ascend and Aurora nowhere in sight because they don't have the Skyward Dive. They don't have a Horizon Q. Now Game Ward are going to be able to try to move into the side with Aurora unfortunately stuck on the low ground right now and they lose out on Yolu. And now with just 2 members left from Game Ward, you can see them trying to skirmish the fence line.
1v1
Look at
1v1
this, aimbot stays true to the name. Game Ward takes another Ascend. Top
わかんないよこれ
But will Game Board come out on top here in this fight? It certainly looks like it. Aimbot has already taken
Oh
down
my
one
God.
and takes down another with the car from that distance. My goodness, Game Ward. What a moment. What a performance
超えれ
for
ない
them as Aurora
この壁を越えれない
for the demise that seems to be slowly creeping their way.
How could this happen to me?
うわ
I made my mistakes. There's no way for them to get away. Gameward could just hail down all the damage on them, knowing that there is nowhere else that Aurora could be. It's a matter of just the Bloodhound getting the scan, figuring out they're right below us, and then them cleaning up that KP for them to secure this W. But that last fight, we gotta talk about that real quick. That was insane right now between Aurora to get that win against Ascent. You can see the Aurora coming up from Ranches, but nowhere to climb up to with the rest of Game Ward right on top.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to fully finish off Game Ward, and so what you have to do, even if you get one,
Yeah,
you're going to have to wait for that last one, who will be able to take the point, will be able to buy a little bit of time, and it may be early. The circle is pulling, but what is going to happen in terms of that zone? You just want to hope it's your Game Ward, and I think they should be okay. The area that is safe up above, outside of the lava, does not close in earlier than down below. The Caustic Ultimate just going to annoy Psychop. It's not really going to do anything. What an interesting final circle. It's all but assured that Game Ward
マギー最悪最後にドリルでダメージを与えてレイスを耐える。
See what Ranches tries to do. Well, they tried.
It's just a matter of time, especially since the circle wasn't in their favor too. Gameward do want that KP though. See aimbot dropping down, saying secure what I can out here, and they finish the final game, game number 2 here, going in favor for Gameward with a great amount of KP. I believe we saw at the very end there.
What an interesting dynamic, Vicky, because, you know, Aurora found themselves on the low ground every single aspect of that game, and as we bring back Spider Tiff to comment on it, it was truly a circle that meant second place. That's better than third place, but we definitely can't get first. Aurora, though, will be happy.
いや、いいわ、まだプロリーグ普通のルールですね。
Yeah, it was really interesting to watch, and I was behind the scenes kind of spectating that entire map unfold, and the moment I see Fire Beavers go down to Game Ward, I was like, they better win this, bro, because I was on the Fire Beavers bandwagon, and from that moment forward, they were able to just carry on that success. So congrats to Game Ward for lasting in that interesting zone there.
参加条件あれですよ。多分前と一緒ならスプリット1プレイオフポイントとスプリット2プレイオフポイントみたいなのがあって、それが高いチームがいける。
Not having a mobile character to work with. I mean, you have the Wraith Portal, but you don't have the Horizon Gravity Lift. You don't have the Skyward Dive from the Valkyrie like we see with other teams. And unfortunately, in that situation, when you're forced to play off the low ground because they were stuck in Thermal Station, if you guys could recall, start a fight was pressuring them and pinching them on one of the south sides of Thermal Station.
Yeah, 真ん中の方がいいだろ。
Nowhere to go other than take a zip line maybe to the high ground, which was already painted by the Watson fences of Ascent, who came in third place. But we take second.
出場決定チームはスプリット2じゃないですか。いや、出る、さすがに出るよ。スプリット2も世界大会あるもん。違う会場で。また一からやんなきゃだ。
Set up for every single scenario. Your team doesn't include a Horizon, it doesn't include a Valkyrie, and that's okay. You've gone for something that got a second place, but because of the RNG of the nature
今日は関係ない。今日は関係ない。プレイオフのポイントだから。今日プロリーグじゃん。プレイオフだよ、プレイオフ。プレイオフポイント。
Yeah, it's kind of different compared to map 1, right? We were looking at Survey Camp and Epicenter, and not a lot of teams were already over there. I believe 2 had already set up Survey Camp, and you come into map number 2, all of the teams making their way over to Thermal Station, and that could be because I feel like Thermal Station is one of those incredibly challenging endgame zones, and you can just see the trials and tribulations that Fire Beavers themselves had to go through, fight their way, and until they met Game Ward. They took them down, and honestly, I thought Fire Beavers was going to come out on top. The Mother Load went out, the Knuckle Clusters were doing so much damage, so props to Game Ward for coming out on top of that. And Bitfix Gaming, Vicky, I heard you say Rampart. They're like, there is a Rampart on the horizon, and I'm over here like Bitfix Gaming, ready to run it back. But it was Ascend's game.
Yeah,
they held that God spot, so rather interesting that Game Ward kind of unseated them from it.
Yeah, honestly also highlights how Gameward were able to come out from not only claiming the high ground right there, but they were also winning a lot of pressuring fights against Ascend, who were on the low ground right here too. They were able to reset, and it was nice to see that and Gameward, because with that one extra KP that they also secured on the low ground, I do think that should allow them to be right on top of Fire Beavers after their insane performance in Game 1.
Look at this.
just 26 points.
いつ発表なんだろうね。わかんね
they're gonna have overall. It should be, I would say, somewhere near 30, 31. I think that will put them in first. If you can see with our graphic, it is updated, but a 22-point game. Fire Beaver's not on this top 10, and it's the consistency that will probably allow Game Ward to sneak up into first place. Aurora, though, a strong second place finish, 4 kills, 13 total points.
新潟やん
And Ascend round out our top 3 with Foot Esports and Ember and Tiff. Foot Esports showing up like you had asked for them to do.
今飲んでるから
The call and are answering.
It was
久保が浅いわ
needed. We know in map 1 they had a skyward dive kind of go wrong as they made their way
だから
into
全地域終わ
Derby.
ってからだ
But
ね
I
多分
was sitting behind
出
the
るのは
scenes begging for them to take that skyward dive to hopefully go on the north
俺今
side
世界
of the
大会
fence.
決勝は行きたいな
Instead, they walked it in and it was just a horrific moment as they went
今
through
マジのポーランドルール
onslaught. But
い
being
や
able
初め
to
てか
get
もしんないこ
10
れ
points, they came into this match
初めて
apiece,
かも
so I'm excited to see what those 10 points did for them. But Forge, Startify Esports, and even Hero is making a
いや
play.
日本人でも知らない人多いよ
Amazing
正
start
直
fight.
俺レイジから知ったからレイジの運営
Some teams not performing, and one of the biggest stories
俺はもう機密情報でもらったっすね
People aren't aware. I mean, they are sitting in 21st.
だから言えない
They are only 2 points
喋れない
outside of relegation. We're
も
looking at a
う選
world
手も
where
知らないから
Leogre and Sunset could actually be in a fight to just stay in Pro League heading
多分
into
選手ほとんど知らないんじゃない
day. And so have to see some
まだ
results here from them, but good things on the other side of Phoenix
言ったら
Legacy
まずいもん
and
俺
Reply Totem and Pioneers consistently getting points and being involved here in these games.
Yeah, also surprised to see Nightmare actually on the bottom end of the
Yeah,
overall
Night.
standings for game number 2 right there as we take a look at how this has actually fixed things up for us in day 8 for this EMEA region.
優勝するけど
Gameworld actually are on top of Fire Beavers with that one extra point after not only taking the dub but cleaning up what was left of Aurora on the low ground here. So that gap not as big as we were expecting after that insane KP game that Fire Beavers won with.
You know, I love Ascend and the way that they were able to play that final circle. In fact, we have a chance to take a look at it. To me, when I look at Ascend's style of Apex Legends, they get themselves in a great position and they allow their fights to be easier than most other players. They're great players. They're high execution players. I wouldn't call any of them kind of, you know, mechanical gods. I would say that they're very solid. They're very good. They don't necessarily shine because they're just so good at hitting headshots. They shine because they're a complete package. But I want to look at that final circle, and you guys walk me through. I'll start with you, Tiff. How Ascend kind of lose this one to Game Ward when it seems like they've got a great setup?
Yeah, it was kind of rather interesting. Ascend kind of buckled down near that kind of crate
ポ
on
リ
the
スハイ
other
ボール
side.
飲み折れます
Onslaught, even
でっ
with
かいやつ
Yolu being down. We're in a 2v3 situation, utilizing those bang smokes to try and get some cover. You have the Digi-Thread available to you, and you're just jumping up and peeking through so many different angles, and I think it just kind of bamboozled Ascend at this point. You
まあクリ
don't
プト
know
環
where
境
you're going to
嫌だ
pop
ね
up
確か
from
に
next, but then it was
なんか
Aimbot,
と思うけ
who
ど
you
ね
said living up to the name, having to lay it down on the line from a distance, just coming in. It was
なんないよ
impeccable.
絶対
It was really amazing,
絶
Vic,
対
too,
なんない
when you saw they did lose a player, and both Aimbot and I think it was Psycop won their 1v1s.
いいわ
Aimbot also with the
なんか
strafe
ビー
real
ル
quick with the R301 using the hip fire.
俺あと
getting that
ビール
knock
2つしか買って
allowed
ね
Aimbot to also reset on the other side of the fence line from where Kashira was to then pop that shield bat, which allowed Aimbot to have already a health advantage over Kashira. So that was a really good play from Game Ward in general for them to not only take the dub but to take that team fight versus Ascend, who once again also are looking as consistent as they possibly can be, because this is the second game that we have right now here done in EMEA, and this is also the second game that Ascend get third place in.
Aurora trying some shenanigans here. I mean,
レモンドを買うか
I
迷っ
like
たけど
that they went for it, Tiff. I'm not sure that there was any way they were going out, but I like the team.
今のうちに温めてこよ
It's tough. You mentioned the drill moments
ちょっとチェッ
going
クします
off Mad Maggie, but there was literally nothing they could do. Caustic gas trying to get thrown up onto that high ground, but with no, you mentioned it, Vicky, no grav lift on a horizon, no skyward dive, just they're kind of stuck playing for second at that point, and they were able to get some good points out of this. Granted, I mean, they're already solidifying themselves a spot in the top 9, but look at this beautiful little shot that our observers got right here, just nestling in with the ring at their back. Tough situation.
We're gonna... Oh god! Oh my god! I'm so sorry. I thought this would work. It looked like they may have had an attempt there, and I appreciate it, but yeah, ain't gonna happen. Vicky, we know Game Ward took the game and in good fashion and in strong fashion, very convincing fashion. I love Game Ward and what they're doing, answering the call, Foot Esports answering the call, Phoenix Legacy getting involved, not quite saying they answered the call, but having seen them compete yesterday, they won some games, they were in a very good position. I think this is going to be very, very exciting. Well, of course, it doesn't mean that the game is over or the day is over. We're nearly halfway over, though. Our final game on World's Edge. We've seen Game Ward dominate. We've seen Aurora stay consistent. We've seen Ascend get close, but no cigar. We'll find out if we have a new winner this time around, if we'll have a repeat with one of the teams that have already shown they are here to play today. And in order to take you through it, let's go over to Vicky Kitty and Spider Tip.
Thank you so much, Rain Day. After taking that W, though, from Game Ward, I also want to highlight here, Tiff, their rotation since they landed Skyhook to share some of that loot with Phoenix Legacy had a bit of some land to cross, honestly, to get all the way towards Thermal Station. So for them to fight and take their time to get through staging, to contest Phoenix Legacy, to make sure that they can hold it down on the north side against Fire Beavers was a very nice rotation for Game Ward to take that second game.
Yeah, it's really interesting because we had called it in map number 1 when Fire Beavers landing in Frag West. They had the upper hand on the rotation, so teams like Bitfix Gaming that already land in Thermal should have found a lot more success there. But you can see on the map we've got more of
メタ型が持ってないのか、チームの個性。チームの個性じゃない。なんかメタはなんか結構ワトソンとかクリプトな気がするけど。うわ、うまそう。
on board with your winners of map number 2 over at Trials, looking to unlock some great
チームの個性って感じで。
Yeah, Game Ward looking away to try to take another dub out here. Fire Beavers trying to regain themselves after having an insane first game too, but it's Game Ward who are going to have the great loot from Trials as well as some of the loot from Skyhook over on the west side. I like how you highlighted the circle here too, because if you take a look at the overhead map and the beacons that are provided for the squads that are going to be making the rotation into this next circle, landslide could easily get contested by the squads exiting out of Countdown. Out of Harvester staging, looking at Ascent, who've consistently gotten third place like I highlighted before, so they'll be able to get that information very quickly because this circle could be pulling towards the outskirts of Fragment West. That construction building site could also get contested by the squad.
やべえ、疲れてるからすぐ酔うわ。
Squads that are rotating from the south side of Harvester.
疲れてるとすぐ酔うね。
If that is the case, then Fire Beavers may go back and win
いや、絶対これうまいわ。
did in map number 1, but it's Ascend that I'm looking for to be
あ、う
in
まっ。
that aggressive rotation because they are so quick with that. But okay, Ember, we see
ホ
you
ッケ焼き。
Hong Kong making Pioneers really falter. This is the second time I think we've seen a member of Pioneers
ホッ
fall
ケの
to
塩
a
焼きだ。
30 repeater.
The 30 makes you cry or taking a lot
ホ
of
ッケの
damage
塩焼きだ。
So nice cover fire, forcing Ember to actually stay inside this building and not capitalize off of that knock. Very quick res as well from KC.
プレミアムビール。
Anytime and holding that door because sometimes that 30-30 when
プ
you
レ
do
ミアム
take
モル
some
ツ。
shots on the door, it could actually open things up here. So they made sure to block the door even if Ember wasn't going to try to contest to prevent that other shot from the 30-30 opening things up.
Pioneers making their way. We've seen a lot of fun things from that IGL
B.
Nasky. He put a team together
ハイボールなんか、
of some of
ハイボール
the
ビルのがいいな。
best and dropped down into ESA, which is kind of a North American tournament that we have fun. I believe it was Nasky, Tyler from Vexed Gaming, and for some, I think K Swinney from E6, and they actually won the tournament. And let me just tell you, I fully expected Pioneers to come in on another level based on the momentum and the vibes that he had from that experience. So we'll see what Pioneers do if they make it a split one playoffs. But Fire Beavers, I had said they would maybe find some success benefiting from the
桐原さん、800円のスパです。
and Taskmaster both
ALGS お疲れ様でした。ピノさんなら世界決信じましたが、ここまで大暴れとは思いもしませんでした。ありがとうございます。
We're looking to continue on their domination after their performance in
ホ
game.
ッケ焼きガチうまいね。 魚基本好きだけど俺。嫌いな魚いないかも。シシャモも大好き俺、シシャモ。シシャモの卵うまいんだよね。お山田さん5000円スパです。世界大会出場おめでとうございます。ありがとうございます。ナイスパです。シシャモのなんかちょっと苦味が好きなんだよね、割と。卵も甘い時あるし。
Looks like Zane is utilizing that 3x on
でもイクラはあんま好きじゃない。
the cliffs on the outside of epicenter to find some good shots on all the teams rotating in.
No, like, I'm really glad that you highlight the charge rifle. Even though we see the 3x scope, one of my favorite sites personally.
幅じゃね、なんだっけそれ。タイじゃなくて。でもわかるけど、その仕分け好き。頭から食うね、俺。俺絶対頭から食う。これ理由があって、その尻尾って、尻尾って硬いじゃん、一番魚で。だから柔らかい頭の方が楽。なんか食うときに尻尾からいくとたまに喉になんか尻尾の硬いところが当たって痛ってなっちゃって、だからシシャモとか硬いやつ、食べるやつは頭から食って後で硬い尻尾を食えるようにする。そうすれば、そう刺さんないから絶対。考えて食って。俺幼稚園の頃、魚ぶっ取ったことあって、喉に。それが結構トラウマで、魚の骨めっちゃ嫌いだから結構気にしてる。あ、わかる。だからたい焼きとかさ、頭から食べると頭良くなって尻尾から食うと足が速くなるみたいな。でも俺バカだからそういうの信じるんだよ。信じて食ってたわ。頭から信じて頭から食ってた。
It could be difficult to try to land some of those shots here too.
懐かしいな。
Obviously has that experience with the L-Star like we've seen before, and now they also have control over the replicator for any additional meds that they need to use. You can see Taishin's only got 2 of those syringes. They're trying to craft even more, but in the line of sight of the Totem who have circle advantage on the high ground, it's going to be difficult. They're also making
全然試合見てなかった。
the squads that are already in the fragment east area where there's a beacon are probably getting whiffed with this fight going down.
I'm actually really surprised that Reply Totem's gonna
いや俺もね、足速いよ。中学生の頃、50メートル 6.9 秒とかだよ俺。リアルガチで。バスケ部で一番速かったマジ。ふくらはぎだけ異常に発達してるもん俺。マジで速いよ俺。運動神経いいもん。だから中学生はずっとリレー選抜で、高1の頃も部活入ってないのにリレー選抜だったもん。さすがに高2からはちょっとゲームばっかしてて運動不足でもう足追いつけなくなって運動神経良くてももう無理だったけど、高1まではずっとリレー選抜だった。6.7 は速い。マジ足の速さだけは一丁前だったな俺。いや足つらない。つらなかった。100メートル何秒だっけな。いや覚えてないね100メートルは。100メートルで俺ね多分ね短距離型なんだよ俺。体力マジでないの俺。さすがにバスケ部だったから中3の頃にはもう体力ついてたけどマジで体力なかった俺。バスケ部だから入ってるわけじゃないよね全然。7秒台とかもいた。7秒台っていうか 7. 後半も全然いる。
teams that want to not get pressured out by the squads that have that building.
検体レベルなんだ。
You made mention of before here, Tip. That's on the north side of Fragment West.
11秒6はやばいか。やばいわ。普通12秒とかだもんね、速い人でも。俺多分100メートルだと12秒なんとかだった気がするけどな、中学の頃。だから、まあ結構速い方だったぐらい。陸上部のガチで速いやつは11秒台とかね。アンチはフラグメントにはなさそうだな。こっから。でも結構下入ってるな。フラグメントあるのかなこれ。マップ配信、マップ配信。なんで次のアンチ出ないの？まあいいや。
Control over that little side train part that's on top of the railroad tracks on the other side of Ember where they're holding that
現帰宅部で50メートル 6.8 は速すぎるよ。それは速すぎるよ。もったいないそれは。やべ、米欲しい。魚ばっか食ってねえで。お、フラグメントだった。マーケットねえぞ、マーケット。お、NM ってチームが飛んでる。さあ、どこに行く？マーケットねえの分かってないよな、さすがに。あ、その家いないんだ。同居してね？魚に米必須だなこれ。確かに必須だわこれ。確かに俺ガタイいいんだよな。ガタイいいっていうか力仕事しててガタイなんで力仕事する前からガタイいいけど、なんか俺ガタイいいんだよな地味に。足早とかもやってたから仕事が筋トレだったね。あの時はもうずっと鉄の棒を持ってたから、鍛えればすぐ育ったも筋肉質だから。
Meanwhile, Heroes going to eliminate Nightmare Esports, Bitfix Gaming held up in a building here in Fragment, and I feel like I can just hear the audio.
中学の時とかも腕相撲一番強かったもん俺。水泳部のマットとかにも勝ってたし腕相撲。バスケ部でも多分 1,2 番ぐらい強かったな腕相撲。マジゴリゴリだった。陸上部にも勝ってたし腕相撲、水泳部にも勝ったし結構ゴリゴリだったな。腕相撲強えよ俺。多分だからジム行けばすぐ筋肉つくと思う。今は脂肪だけど、今はゲームばっかして脂肪だけどね。
Nothing wrong with being a little loot goblin. I myself am one as well, so I don't blame them. But
ジム行けば多分すぐ筋肉つくと思うけどな。
closing 13 squads remaining, and if VZN has at least 4 assists on VJ, you know for a fact they are doing incredibly well.
あ、海外ゲームは結構さ筋肉つけてる人多いよね。もう筋肉つけるとエイム良くなるっていう。
Finding some success just on the outskirts of the ring, and they have the ability to hold everyone in Fragment. But the question is, where are we pulling?
いや筋肉落ちるね。本当にもう今はない。脂肪、ただの脂肪。でもさやっぱ自分磨きってしたいじゃん。モテるためとかにも。自分磨きしてえなと思いつつさ、いやでもゲームやる時間なくなるよなみたいな。 げえ迷ってる。ジムとか行ったらさ、もう配信とかできなくなっちゃうじゃん、そんな。まあ1時間ぐらい行けばいいかもしれないけど、短い間を縫ってジム行くかみたいな。自宅筋トレもありだけどね。なんか腹筋とか腕立てとかだけ。ナイスビーグ、ナイスビーグムキムキだね。マジであの人目の前で見たことあるけどめっちゃムキムキだった。サウナ整う。俺代謝いいんだよね、代謝。サウナで一回整ったことあるけどマジであれ決まるね。やばいわあれ。ハマりそう。今日のその時間お疲れ様です。ありがとうございます。サウナはマジでハマる。一回やっちゃうとね、ハマるね。結構一回やっちゃうとハマる人だから、ギャンブルとか俺ダメな人だよ。ギャンブルとかハマっちゃう人だよ俺。タバコとか。だからしない俺は。
Looking to see what they can bring to the table. They're still on the outskirts, but Young Hong Kong really wreaking a lot of havoc with a 30-30, finding a nice down onto Kralix, and they have just been an absolute nuisance bunkering on the outskirts of the building. And as you can see, the collapsing of all of those teams holding the two buildings just on the left side.
いや、サウナでくっそ暑くて燃えそうなぐらいまでサウナ行ってからの水風呂入ればやべえってなるよ。いや、気持ちいいってなるよ。気持ちいいからの寒ってなってまず出ればいいんだよ。まあでも1分間ぐらい水風呂使んなきゃいけないよ。サウナ行ったその後ビール、いやそれは気持ちいいわ。それは気持ちいい。絶対気持ちいい。金曜で仕事お疲れ様でしたで、サウナ行って水風呂行ってビールは気持ちよすぎだな。想像しただけでやばいわ。会話がおっさんなのよ。会話がおっさん。俺ら24とは思えん俺。
A little bit of griefing on their hand.
They need loot though, and so if they're gonna try to take these fights, they need the opportunity to at least access these death boxes. Look, the skies are congested with the crypto drones flying around each other, just saying a quick hello real quick to get that information. But they need loot because they were inside that front on the north side by the train tracks, close to that grandma's building from the very beginning. So they had
骨矯正するのね。最後の方バキバキって。背中の骨がバキバキってなってマジびっくりする。慣れないあれ。すげえよ。なんか腕の首の後ろに腕を置いて掴んで整体師が背中上げてポキッってなぜんだけどめっちゃ鳴るあれ。気持ちいいあれが。いや詰めるねこの人。全然喋ってなかったけど試合の話。アセンドリプレイトーテムターキッシュスターズ死んだ。パイオニアいいじゃん。頑張れ頑張れ。世代違うね。なんか寝るときとかに結構寝やすくなる。あとやっぱゲームするときとか体勢とかが楽になる。張らなくなるねやっぱり筋肉が。下半身不随やばそれ。いや大丈夫だと思う。ちゃんとしたとこだから。下半身不随やばいだろ。普通に化け物だろそれ。人の人生封してるやん。ボキボキ生態ではないから大丈夫。あともみほぐしと矯正両方してくれる とこだから大丈夫。生態ね、いいけどね、高いんだよね。そう、だからお金に余裕あるとき行った方がいい。生態は。マッサージも高いか。やっぱここなんだな、アンチ。安定だな。腰はね、腰とか肩はマジで、まあ、生態によるけど、めっちゃ楽になるよ。俺んとこは結構揉みほぐししてくれて、生態師さん力強いからさ、結構ほぐされるよ。で、俺いつも姿勢悪いから、すげえ楽になる。ヘッドスパ行きたいけどね。俺、不眠症というか、なんか寝つき悪いから、ヘッドスパ行った後寝ると、ヘッドスパ行った後、マジ寝やすい。いい睡眠取れる。だからヘッドスパでもいい。でもヘッドスパも整体も行ってて、お金がさ、って思っちゃって。カルビさんおやすみ。ヘッドスパ行きたい。行きたいとは思ってるけど、お金がもったいない感じがして。いけない。耳かき専門店行ったことないな。オーロラ強っ。
Aurora coming out on top. That EVA 8 hit fire shots missing was the nail in the coffin for Ember to go down, but Aurora holding the other side of the fence line. You said it perfectly.
Aurora.
Nox grenade is out with those caustic traps are set up that it's got to
レイスの人がうまいな、レイス。
being the only squad to rock the caustic composition on World's Edge here.
Yeah, Aurora come in and they steal the
こ
show
う
yet
前
again.
半差し終わり。
They know what that tastes like, but they wanted first.
まだわからんね。パイオニアもまだあるね。
They clearly did on this one, and it shows you why Caustic has been and will always be such a threat when he makes it to the end game.
全然見てなかった、喋りで。喋っててばっかで。ちょっと酔っ払ってるし、俺。
Almost impenetrable, and that's saying something considering they went up against the Valkyrie, Newcastle, and Watson team, which would be
俺、あれ言ってみたいわ。悟空の気持ち。悟空の気持ちだっけ。なんかさ、めっちゃもう行列できる。予約何ヶ月待ちとか。あるじゃん。東京にあるさ、東京がわかんないけど。あれ本当に寝れるのかなって。よく YouTuber がやってるよね。
And unfortunately, they could not withstand Nox gas traps coming out. And I was like, oh, Aurora, you said it, Rain Day. Not happy with second place.
ヘッドスパ専門店で絶対出るの。
I mean, one of the things I was actually going to start criticizing because it struck me after I had made the point of sometimes your line.
でも俺一回新潟の行った時に普通にヘッドスパでいびきかいたことある。自分のいびきで起きたってなった。一回ね、あるんだよな。だから多分寝るな、俺は。普通のヘッドスパで寝るもん。
They actually had to go through Nightmare Esports as well and kind of ended up holding that building, Vicky.
1年半前とか新潟のヘッドスパ行って。自分のいびきで起きたことある。あれ俺いびきかいてましたって言ったもん。美容室のシャンプー、まあ寝れるね。なんか俺そういうの見るの好きだけど、結構その美容室のシャンプーのヘッドスパをこだわってる店もあるよね。シャンプー ASMR とか俺見るもん、たまに。だから寝れない時とか見てて気持ちいいから。
almost there. A third place team, a second place team, and I know people have been wishing for Dell and for Nasky and Max to put it together.
Yeah, hockey, mine now.
Yesterday, they tied for third, but because they didn't have the highest kill game, got fourth and were out of the prize money. So it feels like maybe there's something about that to KCP they can get over as we head towards the end, where you must be perfect. Tiff, though, walk us through top 10 here. Aurora,
だいぶ酔っ払ってる俺。
Big game indeed, 24 points for
2
them.
巻で。
Fire Beaver still holding the biggest game of the day in that map one with 28 points, although Aurora incredibly close. Ember playing the game very smart, coming away with 12 points, but Pioneers taking a well-timed fight on the outskirts of Frag West to find not only the well-needed loot, but the eliminations to get them the same
首の後ろにホットタオルされるじゃん。されるとこもあるけど、ホットタオルされてる時が一番気持ちいい。ホットタオル。
constantly in sixth, top 3 as well, and they need to do what they need to do, and they're doing it.
Yeah, it's also nice to see how consistent they have been able to do it. With KP to their name as well, I believe before this game alone, they were sitting in number 7th in the overall leaderboards after those first 2 games. So to see them end strong here on World's Edge brings me to question if they could do the same going on to Storm.
でもそのあと美容室ってヒゲ剃らないじゃん。理容室はヒゲ剃るじゃん。男だと。その俺もいつも美容室だけど、理容室のヒゲ剃りをたまにやってみたい感あるんだよね。まあやんないけど。めっちゃ気持ちよそうじゃんあれ。美容室ではないヒゲの剃り。
Weirdly enough, A versus C doesn't tend to go well for GG. They had, I think, one moment where they might have had an opportunity to showcase their goods, and I think they got 15th. The next time they met, in day 5, they got 19th. So it's 15th.
美容学校行ってたんですけど、
when these two groups clash, and
授業シャンプーの時は寝てました。まあいいんじゃない？いいね。よく切れる一枚刃で。そうそうそうそう。一枚刃でさ、シャッシャッシャッってやってさ。あれいいよな。でも俺美容室なんだよなって。なんか複雑な感情になる。あれされた後さ、だってもう肌ツルツルやん。一回俺中学生の時に美容室行ったけど、肌ツルツルやったもん。渋谷の海鮮帰り聞いたことあるの？ルーフー鍋。カキ鍋。カキまだ俺あんま美味しさわかんないんだよな。なんかカキ気持ち悪く感じちゃう俺。あ、プレミアムバーバね。はいはいはい。ありますね。見たことある。カキがあんま好きになれんまだ。ウニはね、なんか高いウニ食ったことあるけど、まあ、高いというかまあちょっと高いぐらい。うまかった。苦味がなかった。苦味がないウニはね、マジでうまい。そこら辺なんか、その、全国チェーン店のウニとかは、ちょっと苦味があって苦手だけど、苦味ないウニはね、うまいわ。いや、そう、当たったことあるで思い出したけど、俺もあるんですよ。俺とチャカボーが、あ、ちょっとアドレナリンとかで寝れなくて見出してます。今すげえ酔っ払って眠いですけど。はい。まあ頑張ってみます。6試合だけなんで。さっき俺、シャカボーと俺が当たったことあるんだけど、レバーで当たって、たまたま俺とシャカボーだけレバー食って、他にも人いたんだけど、 しかもその渋谷でなんか店長が中国人っぽくて、なんかもうちゃんと焼けてなくて、多分レバーはで食っちゃって、ボルトシャグボーが翌日体調崩して熱出て、で胃腸炎みたいになって、ボルトシャグボー同じ症状で、でジンマシンジンマシンも出てきて、俺腕とかやばくねこれって思って。コロナではなかったんだけど、マジでやばかった。もうなんかね、ずっと腹痛くて、もう一日中ずっとトイレみたいな。なんかおならが出る感覚ってあるじゃん。汚い話するけど、おならが出る感覚っておなら出すじゃん。それが全部もう大なんだよね。って話するけど、だからもうそういう感覚になったらもうトイレ行くしかない。もうあれ胃腸炎だね絶対。なって最悪だったね。食べたもんも全部トイレで。あれは地獄だったね。なんか多分胃の中のもの全部出さなきゃ多分ダメなんだよね。全部。それがクソつらかった。マジで気をつけた方がいいみんなも。レバーとか牡蠣とか生ものは。しかもずーっとね、腹痛いんだよ。ずーっと腹痛いの。生は危ないね。何があるかわかんない。まさかレバーで当たると思わなかったもん。レバー好きだし、俺。生レバーとか結構あるじゃん。
WD Black, the official storage partner of the Apex Legends Global Series.
What is at stake today? A path and an opportunity not only to a chance at a regional final, but maybe a chance at LAN and staying in the
あとコロナも辛かったね。コロナは単純にワクチン打ってない1回目が一番辛かったね。40度の熱と最初なんか震えがあったね、体の。体の震えでまともに喋れなかった。で、まともに喋れないで、ずっとブルブル震えて、ブルブル震えてる熱で40度まで行って、ぼーっとしてみたいな。
throw down here, and as we move on to Storm Point, I'm really excited to see what kind of zones we're going to get. Gaming Gladiators, I can't even say it. Gaming Gladiators up there with Phoenix Legacy near North Pad might be in a little bit of an early.
おー、ナナミンさん、初戦のプレイです。ALGS オツです。ありがとうございます。そう、なんかね、アドレナリンで寝れなくて、もうミラーしようって思って、もうお酒飲みながら見てます。終わったらごゆるりとお休みください。ありがとうございます。皆さん、この人ね、AV 女優ですよ。
Difficult spot here on North Pad. Gaming Gladiators already off to a great start in terms of finding one down, one kill, and looking to finish off the rest of Phoenix Legacy. This is difficult for Phoenix Legacy, though, a team that is desperately needing some points. Sunset on the Bangalore, demonstrating why we say
俺も
this
びっくりし
team
た。
gets better on Storm Point. For whatever reason, the pacing, the freedom, the
マジ
ability
か、
to
8
fight like
点。
this and start at North Pad, it just serves Gaming Gladiators as their world's edge.
ありがとうございま
So
す。
will this be the
初めてもらっ
resurgence?
た。
3 games, you can get a lot done. Phoenix Legacy know that, but they don't want to go out too soon. And unfortunately, Tiff, it's Alpha Draft who would have been able to get
ガ
this
ゼット、
banner,
ガチっす。
who goes down as well. Sunset taking a
調べて
little
ごらん。
risk there, goes into the shield. Excuse me, the fences of Watson, and now it's Sabs and Imp who are trying to hold it down. I can't believe it.
ケンさんに行かなかった。
Having Alpha Draft down, Gaming Gladiators
2治ったんですかそれ。大丈夫
and
です
they
か
lose to Phoenix Legacy, who just pulled
ゲ
the
ーミン
bridge
グラ、ごめん、
and
全
stayed
画
in
面しなかっ
position.
た。ゲーミングラでってまた死んだんだけど。
Gets the eliminations.
Let's go.
Look, I'm not gonna lie, GG, that was really tough to watch. I respect the push towards the
世界大会マジコロナだけはマジで気をつける。
but you had already cut them off
もう
from
出たくないもん。
the root.
終わってから遊びたい、世界大会。
Minimal amounts of ammo, but Sabs and Imp able to pull it off. Now going for the reset, they can
出れなかっ
grab
た
the
ら何の意味もないし
respawn
な。
immediately and not even have to worry about any teams in the nearby vicinity.
これ
And
は
you can see the map in the upper
発射台っ
left
す
hand
ね。
of the screen. There's no one even in
アン
checkpoint
チ発
or
射台。
the wall at this point. This should be free.
Yeah, Phoenix Legacy now have a
いやー、ちょっと違うぞ、これ。何これ。パターン結構あるな。ここのアンチか、このキャノンの付近アンチかだね。どっちかだな。
position, that high ground spot, that bridge.
疲れ収まるならコロナじゃないと思うけどな。コロナはもうちょいかかるけどな。
almost have a disadvantage if you want to keep that fight going. Gaming Gladiators, though, maybe just saying,
わかんないな。耐性があるなら、一回かかったことあるなら、疲れ収まるもんなのかな。いや、収まんないと思うけどな、コロナ。ただの風邪だね。
And yet Phoenix Legacy fighting for something, and that's kind of what to me has made them an interesting team to follow. They're in relegation, and yesterday I saw them perform in a tournament. They were playing like they had something to win,
ここも
like
強い
they
ね、
really
安定。
had a chance. And if Phoenix Legacy, even if they
こんな
get a
詰めて
third
こない
place
し。
here, a fourth place, which they're kind of keen to do, that 17 points not only puts them out of relegation, it gives them a chance to maybe even be in the regional final. And so
防ぎようなかったね。
on the flip side,
まあだからそもそもコロナにかからないために、その、ブートキャンプ行かないからね。ブートキャンプ行かないで世界大会スクリームも、まあ日本でやるか。NA は朝7時からだね。寝ると思う俺は。多分。
Relegate into this building, find some safety.
武田さん800ナイスパです。なんでバルっぽいなのアイコン。世界大会進んでます。プロ大会毎回結果残して、全シーズンプレイ時すごすぎます。いや、ほんと俺だけっすよ、そんなの。本当に。プロやってて、全シーズンプレデター俺だけっす。大気 IGL で世界一取ってください。皆さんが一定するまで追い続けます。ありがとうございます。いや、嬉しいね、そうやって。ちゃんと全プレプロ俺だけだし。
where multiple teams share multiple buildings and essentially the same square footage just above one another. A lot more room. And Forge know it, so they take the fight, they risk losing.
日本人でさ、
down that team and they get two back up.
日本人で世界大会3回出てんの、俺とフナティックと F ちゃん、サクさんだけだからな。
Our 11th place team, they had a good game in game number 3. They lost out to Aurora, but now if they continue that,
世界大会出場は優勝者以外1位から9位ですね、順位の。総合順位の1位から9位。だから、今で言うと、
Tiff, what are your thoughts on that? Obviously, just giving themselves some more flexibility here in Storm Point.
I mean, this is a team composition that a lot of people have been playing both on
CR 勝っちゃったから意味ないんだよね。
finding success NA teams
だからこの1位から9位が普通に出れるって感じ。
doing incredibly well and EMEA teams finding it fruitful as well. So curious to see what Ember is going to be able to do with that and hopefully scout out some loot for themselves so they don't go into an end game circle lacking on meds.
衰えを感じない？いや、俺は感じるよ。感じるけど必死にあがいてるね。
V2 over here on Stormcatcher. There's a
他のゲームついてギリギリないそう。いや、どうしようかな。なんかやりたいのが、なんか、ハルピコさんっていう知り合いから教えてもらったなんか、農場みたいなゲームと、ほのぼのしてるね。ポケモンもやりたいし、まあ、オーバーウォッチもやりたいし、ぐらいかな。イヤー4はまだ考えてないね。やっぱ自分の選手生命って限界があるから、まあ、そこの引き際をちゃんと考えて、自分のプレイがちゃんと衰えてないから、無理やり出たくはないから、引き際考えてやるかな。これシャドウファイト違うか。ちゃんと見た方がいいね。これストッキャだから。ストッキャどこ降りてたんだ。俺らここランドマークだから。こういう時アナリスト大事だよな。世界大会行くと。どこがどこのランドマークか調べてくれるから。
You can see right there, I believe 3 Muppets may only have 1 player left standing over in Thunderwatch, who's going to have a long journey of rotating back into Stormcatcher, as that is where the ring is pulling, and V2 sitting in prime position on the high ground to withstand all of the teams in a nearby vicinity.
何人だよ、言うよ。俺だいぶ調べてるからね。だいぶ研究してるから、こうやって見て。グリムとかもさ、ない日は見てるし。
After 3, and if they could survive a little bit longer after adding 3 KP here, they'll be able to get some points as well. At 15, but you only get 1 until top 10. Then it really starts to snowball, and that will be a tough task for Strongest if he's got to do it alone. It's not like we haven't seen it. Dropped from North America, making a big rat play the other day that actually won him and his squad over $5,000. Actually worth $10,000 overall. So rats still have a place, Tiff, in Apex Legends, although it's a limited place with
俺らは俺らがムーブしてるね。俺らは俺らがムーブしてるし、ノーセップはノーセップでどう動くかもちゃんと分かってる。だって言ってたもん、ちゃんと俺。ゲイルステーションのアンチの時、ノーセップはこっちから来るようだよ、多分って言って。俺だけ分かってたもん。調べてるもん。調べてるっていうか、まあ調べてるか。ちゃんと見てるもん。アーカイブ。
We already know that Aurora does run the caustic as well, but just controlling your space. Also, the you're finding all the information as well. At any given time, you can see up to 2 or 3 drones in the air and maybe 3 cryptos and a nearby tablet in hand.
あと覚えておくのも大事ですよね。だいたいここら辺で当たるとか。
To have a standout performance, currently sitting in 14th place, the Horizon player. Getting a lot of eliminations here thus far.
負けだからその大事なのはスクリームで失敗して反省できるかどうかですよね。それをずっと覚えてられるかどうか。スクリームは失敗していいから。失敗していいんだよ。本番に生かせればいいんだよ。
Do have a chance. Believe being in
スクリームは失敗してなんぼや。
so far 14th today. We'll see what ends up happening for them. But ultimately, you got to say that that's what makes day 8, day 9 so fun. Teams vying for that 20th position, and that means that you can make it into the regional final. Then, even if you're not top 10 or top 9, plus our regional final winner, you'll have a chance
EU 優勝候補はオーロラ元エンパイアとアセンドかな。俺ね、なんだろう。 その時の状況を俯瞰するのがうまいと思う。あれ、ブルーロックの主人公と一緒だね。得意技が。俯瞰してみるのがうまい。アニメブルーロックの主人公と一緒で、潔陽一と。でも冷静に俯瞰するのがうまいっつって。状況をそれと判断がいい気がする。なんちゃらい、なんだっけそれ。それ黒子のバスケじゃない？違うか。わかんねえ。俯瞰するっていうのはあれだよ。自分の視点からこう空から見るみたいな。そう、客観的思考力。確かに。漫画はね、どの地域もね、結構メタ。ハレキわかんねえ。なんか何がダメなのかわかんない。正直配信もしてないし。だからすぐ死んでるよね。なんか結構ファイトで負けてるイメージ。カタリストいる。なんかアンチガイファイト多いな。
On a high note, raising that trophy. Yashira mentioned bringing his father to land, see him play and compete. A dream of his that it looks like he'll be able to do, but we'll see him like Jin Burton, whose father was there at playoffs in Raleigh, championship in Raleigh, excuse me, raised the trophy.
てか FF16 やりてー。PS5 でしか出ないっていうゴミね。IGL 長いっすよ。俺ずっとフェンネルの初期からやってるんで、もう2年ぐらいになりますね。IGL してるのは。IGL 歴は。フェンネルの当初は、もうずっとフェンネル一強だったんですよ。日本だとフェンネル一強だったんですよ。周りが追いついてきた感じかな。ちょっと一気っていうと。青足じゃない、ブルーロック。ブルーロックの主人公、潔陽一は、俯瞰して見るのがうまいんだよね。そう、日韓アジア1位も取ったし、FFL 総合1位も取ったし、APEXサウスと合同のやつ。そう、元祖キルムーブチームフェンネル、栗原モーモンピノタで、割と名を馳せたんだけどな。まあ、今もだから現役で頑張ってるけど、割とすごい人っすよ俺。安定してずっと強いからな。まあ、クリモーモンピノタはまあランクで、まあ、また。それかなんかの機会があればね。ペナンティックとパルブレックスが世界大会3位と4位取るまでは、俺が賞金総額1位だったもんな。越したいな。In terms of kills on the day, they've earned another one for breaking top 10. But can they stay alive here? It's just Majaz. Creeping is going to follow suit. I don't think he's going to be able to make it out. And no, it's Scars showing up, Tiff, for maybe the first time today, and maybe the perfect time today in their first game on Stormpoint.
A little bit of a perfect blend between Nightmare Esports and Scars, but now Scars has their work cut out for them as Nightmare is now gatekeeping the north side of their rotation. So Scars is going to have an uphill battle. They're going to have to get through them. The question is, do you cut to the left or do you cut through the right? Because we know how many teams enjoy playing edge, making sure they pick up their elimination throughout mid.
でかい赤スパ OK 待ってます。このでかい赤スパに見合う プレイします。頑張ります。いや、ほんとみんなのおかげで俺は頑張れてるからな。間違いなく。一応フローラからも給料もらってるけどさ。まあ VTuber とかと違ってその会社に何割スパチャが振り込まれるとかないから、俺にほぼ入るから、ほぼってかアップルとかに取られない限り俺に入るから、間違いなくみんなのおかげではあるよね。
Using that Newcastle shield to perfection, just buying time and easily relocatable if he finds Hierarcha, that is. Another spot that suits the team and him better, but with a G7 scout with a castle wall above, they are in a decent spot, but are they in a better spot?
総額前もなんか入ってあると思うんだよな。なんかね、そういうのあるんだよ。わかんない、今いくらわかんないけど。ウィキペディアに書いてないかな。あ、やっぱここなんちになったね。この左が強いよね、多分。SAF。お、ここ強い。まあでも SZ も、いや、どうなんだ SZ は。アンチどんな感じ？SZ きついか。狭いか、ポジが。割り切ってファイトするしかないな。あ、これか。右が強いわ、だったら。これだったら。こんなっちゃうんだ。あと、こうやってさ、こう、公式配信見てると、こういうアンチがあるんだっていうのもあるから、勉強になるよね。見た方が。バージョン一緒だからさ。アンチってパターン変わっていくから、地味に。変わる場合あるから、見た方がいいんだよね。楽しいけど。いや、ハーデッキ大動けよ。ダメだよ。ハーデッキ。絶対無理だよ、1位取る以外。20ファイナルまでに 20位まで行って、20ファイナルで優勝するしかない。それしか道がない、ハーデッキは。アマちゃんおやすみ。俺は酔ってるよ。酔ってクソ喋ってるよ俺。ごめんなさい、なんかろれつ回んないっす、あんまり。うわ、これ強えな、このチーム。超近いアンチ。レロレロよ、マジで。誰と酔いで。やべえ。
Yes, but look at the team on the left is a big threat, guys. Yes. Yeah, the right team is also a big threat. 117. Watching quickly, I'm gonna fence deeper. Oh, super glide. Take shot.
すごい幸せ。
Yeah. We need to use our boxes to force us. This left team is gonna send us, guys. We have get fences on Savage. Get fences.
でもアライアンスとオーロラは強いね。
Yes. I have to say,
後配信 VC 聞けるの、そうだね、いいね。なんか緊張感伝わるよね。
Left side, left side. I'm with you, I'm with you, I'm with you.
プレさんおやすみ。あー、これ勝てばでかいよ俺。のー、マジか。これ勝てばチャンピオンだったね。これは SF チャンピオンかな。多分。ファイヤービーバーズ生きてる。2枚だけど。 割り切って左やるかな、この真ん中のチームは。割り切ってってか、来るまで待つかな。でまだワンチャンある、この V2 も。左やって、あ、でも展開してるな。公式配信ないから、あ、もうコマンドセンターの使い方わかんない人いるもんね。こうやって、これコマンドセンターだけど、こうやって。世界大会これも実装されるけど、使い方わかんない人多いから、YouTube で配信するのありかもね。前回のフェンデルみたいに。さすがに勝つか、SF。GG。トイレ行ってきます、トイレ。
Started with a bow check, ended with a W. Rain Day, that's exactly what they needed to do. And I was sitting there thinking, you know, Fire Beavers, just bide your time, force the other two teams to fight. But meanwhile, it was Start a Fight doing that the entire time, Vicky.
Yeah, it was really nice to see that Start a Fight at the very end. Also, we're able to secure, what, 9 KP there? So their positioning was beautiful. Even hearing that Phoenix unfortunately had gone down right there at the very end, Start a Fight was a problem on the other side of that fence line.
Oh yeah, Startify was a problem, and they had to do a lot to get to where they were. Remember that swing fight onto Forge and Phoenix, who were holding really well, but they found enough damage to put Phoenix out. That's a good team. That's a team that's playing cohesively because they recognized the moment that was there. We're not going to be able to get out of this. Yes, we could rise and go a high on that ridge and then get exposed to Fire Beavers, get exposed to V2. But really the spot that we want is right in front of us to our right. They could see it, but they couldn't stop it, and that's how you know that they're hitting their shots and they're playing well. I think heading into this next game, that's exactly the kind of confidence that can make you feel not only can you do well today, but you can win this lobby. I mean, Ascend isn't showing up the same way that they were, Tiff. We're not seeing teams that maybe would demoralize you like Aurora, getting 30 points out on top. I feel like this is anybody's tournament today.
It's been a really interesting day, and as I watch these maps and get to jump on the mic for the action, I'm just sitting here thinking, Ascend, you know, they came into the first initial Group A versus C with, I believe, 3 map wins. They come back stronger on the second meetup, get the 4 map wins, and honestly, they haven't won today, and it begs the question, teams like KCP and Ascend having interesting days. I mean, granted, they have found themselves within the top 9 on points for EMEA, but where are they today?
I think it's a great point, Vicky. Where are they? Is this just a slow start? Is it just a decent performance and we expect so much of them that when they play
自分以外の IGL 国内でうまいと思う誰ですか？ IGL か。国内か。まあ、パルブレックスの作さんうまい。で、上のチームうまいね。目立つのはやっぱパルブレックス作さんとノーセプサツキさん、ナティクユカさん。かな。それがわかんない。いや、入ったことない俺。お酒で入ったことない。大丈夫大丈夫。
What we end up having here is a few teams like Ascend, like Aurora, who kind of know that even if they don't win today, they're still in. They're still probably even going to land with points, let alone being in the regional final.
って IGL 生なんだ。
And that is gonna be different. I mean, if you competed in anything, sometimes the player, the team, the group that wants it more ends up having the better performance on the day, Tiff.
今のポイントは
the nail on the head there. I don't know how that saying goes, to be fair, but
I hope I didn't nail the head, you know. And if I did, I'm sorry.
I mean, with all the charge rifles in play, a lot of headies going through, but it was the nail in the coffin for KCP early on, and you see
Fire Beavers まで並んでんね。
taking up shop inside of Stormcatcher, which kind of took them through the entirety of the game as they had that beacon there throughout, and they were able to just clean up shop around there. Ember coming to this in 11th place, of course, as well. And Fire Beavers kind of taking that early exit. But you mentioned it, Rain Day. It was Phoenix Legacy that kind of stood up strong throughout the mid game.
Vicky, your thoughts too on how game number 4 started.
だって F ちゃんゴルフイットしてない？
Honestly, just looking at a lot of the squads, not only rely on the charge rifle, I made mention of it during World's Edge. We have the 4x8 scope in the replicator. This helped benefit the squads that not only have the replicator in their POI, but also the beacon too to predict where the circle was going to be pulling. Because it's a tricky circle to have to deal with. I mean, you saw what happened to Fire Beavers when the circle was to their backs. They were literally forced in a pin situation, which is why I highlighted why I started
ゴルフイットしてんだけど、こっち。
なんだけどバナナに当たるの。
そういうこと、そういうこと。
バナナに当てるんじゃないの？
もうちょっと右、もうちょっと右。逆にうまい。逆にうまいわ。
こんぐらい？
逆はもううまいわ。
お前バナナに当てすぎた。これもう終わったんじゃないこれ。
すぎるわ。
清水さんこれめっちゃ滑るよここ。もうダメだ。あとラストチャンスあるぞ、ラストチャンス。
ベータさんは
ラスト1、ラスト1。
ゴルフイットはみんなでするのこれよな。
早くこれラスト1チャンス。なんでそれやんの？
なんでそれ？
逆に。
それだけ F ちゃん、タツさん、シュビさん。
いけんじゃねえかよこれ。逆にね。
みんな解放されて楽しそうだね。確かに。
ちゃんと V で見るから。
上すぎて、おなんか。
あ、でも入れてもそのままいけってことね。長屋突っ切りタイプだ。あ、これ入ったわ。はい。
お、うまい。
どうでしょ？
なんかマリオの音楽してない？
マリオね、マリオね。
ES のやつだこれ。
あれ弱いかも。
あ、
弱いね。あ、脱散いいよ。
あ、でももうちょい強くか。
なんかスキンみんな可愛くね？
結構強めですね、これ。
いや、ガチで欲しい。
あ、弱いかも、これ。
結構強めですよ、これ。
あ、結構強めだ、これ。
これじゃねえか。強すぎだわ。角度も強いし。
ね、そのことで。
俺ゴルフイットやってたよな、地味に。
は？
どっかの配信枠で。
角度違うんだよね。あ、角度が。角度違うんだよね、本当に。
ちょっと甘いね。
これは、入る。
はい、最悪。
角度がね、下手くそですよね、皆さん。これ
弱いわ。ちょっと甘いよね。やっぱりここだよ。
やべえ、下に結構近づいてきた、俺。
角度
原神ってさ、めっちゃおもろいけどさ、課金ゲーじゃね？だからやんないんだよ、俺。めっちゃおもろくて手出したいけど、課金ゲーなんだよね。確か。
My impression is that Phoenix Legacy and unfortunate for Gaming Gladiators to have another rough game as they sit in last.
しかも厳選とかあってさ、さらに課金するじゃん。
Sad to see here from Gaming Gladiators because we know that they've had trouble when it comes to these lobbies, but man, Phoenix Legacy on the ramp up is also really cool to see. Nightmare also kind of behind Reply Totem, who've had their own pop-off moments in terms of securing the KP that they need with a 30-30 in their hands, but then looking at the bright side of news, seeing Aurora now tied with Game Ward for first
off
place,
season そうだな。オーバーウォッチしようか
な。Fifth place here from Fire Beavers.
Foot Esports, Game Ward, Phoenix Legacy, Start a Fight Esports, fighting for a chance to have a chance in our regional final and maybe make it to land. Teams like Forge, though, who are performing so well, are fighting for a spot to finally get there after being so close yet so far in all of our other split performances. We'll see in the last two games coming up, our penultimate match here in our ALGS
あれ、Twitch ポケモン配信いないの？
after the break.
あった。今、ドゥームとトレーサー関係なの？評価されたの？ポケモンもやりたい。ポケモン買わなきゃ。あと PS5 と FF16 まだ出ないけど、まあ買わなきゃな。
Сосем. Мне нужен скаут и пули, потому что. Скаута мне был, на мне есть. Ну ты же его несешь? Нет.
어센데 꾸준하다 진짜 확실히.
오브리さんお疲れ様って言ってみた。
아 피어터상 고마워. 고마워라 해야 되나? 운이 좋아요? 아침인데. 아리가또 고자마스. 수고하셨습니다.
오브리 마다
기 죽이니까 안 되네. 아까 한번 이제 사자고 갈겨가지고.
오브리 뭐 EU 見てる。
그렇게 된 거야?
努力家だよなこいつ。こいつといてこの人。こいつって言ってた。いや、オブリーマジで努力家だよ、この人。マジ努力してる、マジでこの人は。
얘 대머리가 기죽여서 팀 분위기 막.
俺、オブリーさんに DM してさ、今のクラン入れてもらったもん。ドゥームクラン。
뭐야 이거? 약속된 전략 같은데 이거?
ちょっと勉強してんだね、オブリーも。
맞습니까 이거? 선생님들?
カシラ見て。俺もカシラ見ろ。アセンドのチームだね、これ。そうだね、GO ファンは日本チーム、まあ、拾ってほしいよね。
You can take cantina, no?
I don't think I can. Fuck, I didn't release in time. I'm pretty sure I can't.
この人ヒゲ伸びてんな。
Like you guys just get stuck. I'm not gonna have shit, but it's fine.
I'm going to take your middle then. Or not? Shall I take your middle?
Yeah. I'm not gonna take the middle. There's
Then
no
wait,
way.
then I'll first. I'll first and then middle.
Gonna loot the outside. That's it.
オブリットまた写真撮ろう。ブリット1で世界大会行って。
Probably play north.
I'm gonna take this buildings, okay, both?
Yeah, go for it.
オブリーのパッションがいいよね。うわ、これちょっとウォール。
Gonna be a wall.
Just have to try to dig deep.
がっつりウォールまたは、ワンチャンウォール右下の離れ家。
It's not gonna be an easy game, guys.
かな。ハーデッキはゲーミンググラディエイターってチームいるんだけど、まあ調子悪いね。プレイオフ多分いけないぐらい調子悪い。ジュラパか。ジュラパとここ雲だけ。ちょっと変なこと言っていい？これカシラのさ、このヘッドセットの頭の部分あんじゃん。ここ柔らかくて気持ちよさそう。普通髪の毛が多いかぶさってさ、わかんないけどさ、なんかフィットしてそう。ちょっと失礼だけど。
I do not have weapons. I'm with a car.
ここのヘッドセットの上のふにゃふにゃな部分。
One was flash.
なんか気持ちよさそう。
They're like chasing with the car. It's two cars.
For damage. For damage.
ちょっと失礼だけどね。
I think they're gonna be able to trade. Gonna lie. You can chase them. Look like Fast and Furious. Like.
2倍カー使うんだ。2倍カー好きだよな。2倍ボルトとか2倍カー好きだよな。パイオニア死んだ。調子悪いな。
You guys need bats? I have 4 bats, I think.
I have 0.
And you, Luca?
They finished the fight. Guys, take post and give me
クリバンガーブラハ。まあ、日韓だとクリシアバンガーはまあ CR とかね。
For damage,
いいよね。
I know. Can farm the 4 damage later.
We're gonna take a 3-1.
Flying car.
EMPing that.
Wait a second for me.
Always stop that.
What do you need? Look.
Nah, just wait a second. Just wait a bit for him.
Maybe a team in front. The
E
car.
だとどんな構成がメジャーですか？
Bring back.
Let's try to swap here.
なんか個性ありすぎてメジャーとかない気がするな。マジ
Guys, are
で
you
個
ready?
性
Do you have ulti?
Yeah.
個性がすごい。
Ape them. Let's go. Oh, they went back.
弾丸は、まあ、アシスト切るのもあ
You
るし、
can maybe get an angle.
僕でまあ車線も切れるし、
No.
ウルトで詰めれるし。
I didn't use my ulti by the way.
Guys, they have height.
最強
They
キャラ
have
だよね。
height. What the fuck, Lufka?
You opened the mod.
And they stuck me. I'm dead. Post.
I ult him.
I'm just gonna
Okay,
bail.
I'm covering you.
I'm just gonna bail. Just bail post.
I'm bailing.
You have time.
Lufka, like, you see them that they are playing on the height, and you keep going open field. Why?
아.
네. 국립 기어 받고 시작하자면 루프가 던질 게 많긴
Only
해.
the back post. I'm
To close out as many points as they possibly can with the limited days that we have left on our hands here for this first split. Big Fix Gaming playing on the
파이오니어 완전
outside of the
야만이네.
defense line. Love how we talked about it before, but this is the squad in World's Edge.
ムーブはこんな感じかな。中が多いよね。外は1、2、3、4。外も割といいのか。まあもう同じぐらいかな。日韓とかと。いや、中多いな、でも。
You know the ring that we've seen where it ends just on the outskirts of the left side of Command Center where it's just atrocious, Vicky? I'm curious to see if we're going to get a pool of that nature.
That would be really interesting because then that would allow the squads that have the high ground outside of those bunker doors to have the advantage over the teams that are forced to rotate away from the wall. And you see Nightmare Esports actually are in a position where they can take a 50-50 rotational approach to that command center mouth, or if it continuously pulls more so towards the wall, specifically where Phoenix Legacy are holding that building, because we've seen final circles end there. They also will have a nice high to low ground approach when it comes to rotating away from the chaos that the other teams already inside those buildings and wall are gonna have to deal with.
Limek just needs 19 more damage to get that purple Evo shield, and a lot of these teams playing that mid-range, but Seven seems to have found themselves in RE45, so kitted out and ready for those close-range battles. It's just 18 squads remaining, and I feel like it's a little bit more of a slower pace. Sure, yeah, we're moving on to Ring 2, so I'd be excited to see just if someone will grab a beacon and give us a little inkling of what that Zone 3 will look like, but relatively smooth start here for Nightmare Esports, taking it slow and controlled.
Yeah, with some of these squads slowing things down, just making sure that they have these buildings that they can cut off other squads' rotation, hold some of these choke points like what Nightmare is doing right now, looking to their north side. But against B2, as you can see in the overhead mini-map right now, that are trying to contest Nightmare.
ビール飲む人でさ、何のビールが好きとかある？
Next move to get right past Nightmare, or they're gonna get choked out on the edge of the circle. Then looking at the likes of GameWord, even Fire Beavers,
なんかどのビールがいいかわかんなくて。
to play on the edge of the circle. This gameplay is going to work and benefit them when it comes to getting the information necessary for that beacon to know where they should be rotating, even if it makes them take their time.
黒ラベル俺買ったよ。
Able to replicate all the med kits that they need.
今冷蔵庫にある。
They need some extra shield bats and even get the Evo shield
缶ビ
all
ー
the
ル。
way up to purple or red without having to engage in a fight themselves.
あ、黒ラベル人気だね。
Really
俺買ってきたよ。
rotation
ちょ
for
うど。
them because you can see the choke point where VCN is currently occupying. That is going to be the challenging part. They don't have the skyward
朝日スーパー パードライ。あ、まあスーパードライこの前飲んだな。うまかったね。うまかったというか普通に飲める。飲みやすい。恵比寿。はいはいはいはい。朝日か黒ラベル。やっぱ人気なんだ、朝日か黒ラベル。俺あんまよく分かってなくて、まだビールが。飲めるけどよく分かってない。
Relegated to a team of 2, or did they get their third up? I know they're currently sitting on the edge, and the question is, will GameWard be able to make their way into this next zone? But I do love that the wall is still kind of in play here.
Yeah, that and the fact that 3 Muppets also were able to restabilize, very much like a Sand were to
酔ったで
3
しょ。
Muppets having to
まあ
get that
確か
res
に。
with so many other teams already in the area. They had to actually go right underneath the bridge quickly, which could also be scary for early rotations. Fire Beavers under a lot of fire. You talked about GameWard, who could get circle kept, but Fire Beavers wanted in on the party, and now they're going to be able to try to contest. You see OJ Ryan with the gold Evo shield to work with to restabilize just as quickly, but GameWard have the health advantage.
何と一緒に飲むのが好き？わかんない。何と一緒に飲むのが好きなの俺。わかんない。なんか何でもいいの？食べ物だったら。札幌クラシック。はいはいはいはい。そんなことないな。
That was disgusting from Yolu at the very end. The black hole obviously breaking the doors too, but then taking different off angles from GameWard, so that way they can just force Fire Beavers to funnel outside the doorway. I mean, you only have to look at that one doorway to just make sure you knock down Fire Beavers. So a rough game 5 here for Fire Beavers, out in 18th place. But a great start here for GameWard to make their way.
俺魚と一緒に食べたけどマジでうまかったね。
BZN got whiff of that fight, but it looks like there's another squad right behind them that may have gotten whiff.
姉ちゃんと一緒に食べたら。まだわかんないな、その気持ちは。
Does get poked and prodded back because they are just going to have to find
their
way. They've been occupying this chokehold. Teams on the outskirts of them, but there's no real buildings available for them, so they are going to have to play the trees and just utilize the nature of the map, the topography that's natural to Storm Point. Trying to find some off angles, head peaks that they can get. They have plenty of ammo. I mean,
これうまいね、チョリソー。うまいな、確かに。これワンチャンここのアンチかな。甘いお酒もまあ飲めるっすね。煮物系、はいはいはい。おお、寄った寄った寄った。やっぱこっちなんだ。
But Gaming Gladiators, who are having a better of a time, at least this time around, not getting involved in some early fighting, like we mentioned, actually landing over, not contesting Phoenix Legacy has allowed them to secure that southern zone, rather that southern side of the circle to the zone. So now looking at Ascend and what their next move is, they predicted that the circle was going to pull here too. Since they have the crypto, they were able to get the
クリアだとメイド言ったのはあれだね。ジッピーだね。俺はその後合流して那覇さんとリジさんと一緒に5人で飲んだね。食べに行って美味しかったな。15日にね、俺リジさんと遊ぶよ。フェンデルの匠さんと。15日。いや、ビールに焼き鳥は合うよね。最高だよね。15日予定できた。イジー匠と飲みに行く。あとは誰に行くかわからん。
their attention to the choke point right to their south because they already had the information that there was a squad making the rotation from the outside of the circle, being GameWard after taking that fight with Fire Beavers. So
クリさんが、じゃあクリさんを見たら クリさんも俺のこと見てきて、ニヤニヤしてたんですよ、あの人。それをね、クリさんが、いや、ピロトさんは俺のことめっちゃ見てくるんですよとか言って。
skirts of the map over there on the left side. Game Mort hasn't really committed to pushing through the choke.
Taking
Space on that northwestern side of the ring. Gaming Gladiators doing a really nice job of holding the south end. Turkish Stars on the outskirts, but it's Phoenix Legacy, 3 Muppets, Ember, Nightmare Esports still needing to connect and find space into the next zone. And Starterfight Esports is going to have to gatekeep at least 4 teams, which could provide
クリさん普通にイケメンなんだから顔出せばよかった。まあ出してよかったよね、あの人。本当に。まあ普通にかっこいいし、妬まれない顔だし。
With all these squads trying to use a skyward dive outside of wall, they don't know the action happening here. Like Nightmare Esports flying right over BZN, but they know that that's exactly where the squad ended up landing into the lovely line.
そう、クリさんの顔出し始めみたいな感じで、あんな感じでニヤニヤしてたんだよ。
Was left of Denze, and now they're just gonna continuously hold this choke point. Sometimes it can be scary to rotate in that direction early on, but they were able to secure that and actually make sure that Fix Gaming wasn't a problem and Nightmare couldn't fly for free. Phoenix Legacy, one of the
そう。鼻伸びてさ、そう、鼻伸びてたんだよ。だから俺も笑ったらさ、いろんなさ、こっち見てニヤニヤしてるんですけど、言ってきて、いや、クリさんやろ、ニヤニヤしてんの。そのニヤニヤに釣られたわ俺。
Going to have to stand out, but it's Ember just looking down on them, and there's only one member standing for Phoenix Legacy, and that's going to be all they wrote. Bavis getting a nice shield swap right there, but now the question is, you're going to have to turn your attention on to Starterfight Esports, that third team, your map 4 winners. Finding a lot of momentum and carrying it forward, but the fact is they haven't pushed in just yet, so able to get a nice clean reset here.
とりあえずまあクリさんは今いろいろ疲れてるだろうし、リグお疲れ様って言っといた LINE でいろいろ悔しいと思うだろうから。おでたんとも行きてえな。おでたんと一回も行ってないんだよな。
I'm walking. Before. Take meds. Yeah, there's meds here. I can drop you heavy. I dropped you a little bit heavy. Can I take? Okay.
ガッツさんとはもう行ったし、おでさんなんだよな、唯一行ってないのが。CS のみがやったらカメラマンさんもいるけどね。カメラマンさんも飲んだことないし、会ったことないし。おでくりピノータだったら多分俺クソ飲まされそう。俺潰れそう。ここからどうすんや？チームエンバー右ファイトか左はコムからエメは終わってから結構時間いって朝7時から NA かな。朝7時っていうさ絶対眠くなる時間なんだよね。クジラは絶対これだよね。何してんだあの人。あ、ID さんか。これ今日振りたくね？これ今日振ろう。プッシュプッシュプッシュプッシュプッシュプッシュドントダイドントダイ死ぬな死ぬな。あーまあ漁夫来ないならまあいや来たな。ソロワンチャンソロ5の13だから見かけソロだね。うん。いや2枚はいる2枚はいる2枚はいるわ。え じゃあ、え ?2 枚 ?2 枚なんかありえるありえるお、ゲーミングラディエーター生きてる。次左切ってそこ、キッピンのとこ入りたいね。
So much information taking off that list.
あれもならさ、懐かしい。
Hearing Ember pop off in the way that they did, but
何して
also
んだあの
the
人。
comms noting when to shield stop. Don't die, don't die. I died. It was funny here for Ember, but they were able to restabilize.
プレミアモルツも乗りました。
We got Ascend, Ember, 3 Muppets, Demon Gladiators who have circle advantage, and V2 now only left as a solo for Joke and his RE45.
Send on board with a fight right now against 3 Muppets. Lufka looking to deal the final blows. They do just that. So now
3巻目は飲まなくていいかな。
the rat in the form of V2 because
これ
V2
5試合目っしょ。
into Ember, but Gaming Gladiators who completely called the zone, taking up so much space, was able to pressure V2 away from them, which is kind of Ember's saving grace.
Oh, now V2 is going into the open arms of Gaming Gladiators, and we get a nice overhead of a lot of the action. Ascend rotating from the north side, playing on the edge of the circle. On the opposite end of Ember, though, could be great news for Ember because now
Ascend 生きてんだから。え？
Gaming
マジ？
Gladiators taking this fight with Ascend.
あ？すごいな。
Where Ascend was, and they are showing exactly where they are. It's nade warfare out here as Kashira just trying to find an LOS with the Havoc without the turbocharger, but is getting poked and prodded from behind. They must withstand pressure from all sides here. Lufka inside the Beast of the Hunt, getting scans every 3 seconds to provide the teammates information, but I don't know if they're going to be able to withstand Ember and Gaming Gladiators.
I see Ascend falling incredibly low right now. Luca trying to restabilize with only a shield cell. Kashira gets sent down, and Luca now having
ゲーミングラディエーター勝ったら熱いぞ。
get out of the line of sight of Gaming Gladiators with Ember helping him out.
Ember with the health advantage. Fricks losing out on the shields, but Bavis and Young Hong Kong both able to deal a lot of damage to withstand, so Fricks can get the nice reset, utilizing the fences to kind of occupy space inside the zone. The question is, the pinch is coming to shove, and it's Ascend that's inside that sandwich.
And Ember noting now that there's 2 knocks right here allows them to know that they have the advantage, that there is a rat left out of the 3 squads in this game right now. And
ルフカがど真ん中でファイトしてる。なんだそこ。すごいとこ入らせてんな。 視野がいないからバレない。視野いてもバレないかこれは。信用を貫通するし。
looking to find some information. You can see the missile swarms going out, but no one really committing just yet. My question is, I think Lufka or just trying to go radio silent on their end.
Doesn't want to reveal exactly where they're at right
now.
Gladiators not seeing them in the rather in their own line of sight currently. Hardeki climbing up, but putting himself in Hong Kong's line of sight. You could see the smoke grenades out. No seers left, by the way, in this.
KOJ さん800円ですかです。世界大会決定おめでとうございます。ありがとうございます。感謝です。
And Ember are going to take this for free. They're going to try to counter rotate around Gaming Gladiators.
This could be the call to win it all if they can get a good LOS on Gaming, throw down some damage, but it's going to be Sunset that finds all of the damage at first, does get cracked, but able to crack 2 of the members of Ember. Now taking advantage of this fight and deal the finishing blows.
Ember got taken out, but Ascend still managed to wrap their way to second place. Lufka coming in second place.
Nice.
Gaming Gladiators needed the W, and they finally get it in game number 5.
Look, Rain Day, you asked, do rats have their place? They do. The importance of them. The fact that Lufka could just kind of disengage from that situation, play low, and just be like, don't look at me, don't look at me. If they don't see me, it's not real. I can just pretend that it's like the monsters in my closet. You know, if you just cover up on the blankets, no one's going to find you. But that was beautifully done to rat yourself to second place.
Especially in the spot that you were able to find too. You're out of the line of sight of both the squads that have you pinched right there. He couldn't go for a scan. He would reveal where he is. That would have been free. Left between Gaming Gladiators and Ember. But I liked the counter rotate coming in from Ember's attempt to try to see if they could find.
あと1試合でチャンピオン取るしかない。うわー、きちい。
Only losing out on the Bangalore Shield real quick, and then
連続チャンピオンしかねえ。
that Sunset came came in to actually swoop up and help out that straggler. So Gaming Gladiators
これリージョンファイナルじゃないから6試合しかない。
to prevent themselves from getting put into the relegations, but also to try to boost up some confidence. They called out that Circle
しかも
ring number
今
one, and that has to be highlighted.
Yeah, it definitely does. That's beautifully said because they
21
did
位だか
hold
ら
that space and no one chowed them for the southwestern side of the zone, which really proved critical there. I know Game Ward, VZN, a lot of teams looking to kind of take up space just north of them, but no one made a play for where GG was, and they came into
そうだ
this
ね
map number
世界
5
大会初めてのチャンピオン取りたい俺は
extremely well needed for them.
歴史に名を刻みたい。
Their name before this game that they just took the W on, and Hardeki popped off the way he needed to pop off too. I feel like the Hardeki is one of those confident players where he needs to build up momentum when it comes to that confidence. And since they had a pretty rough start to the day so far, it's better late than never, as I always say. I think he secured 5 KP at the very end, which allowed Gaming Gladiators to clean up the rest of the lobby and secure at least 9 KP before taking that dub.
Look, we've seen teams in North America find success in maps number 5 and 6, specifically NRG, to come back and really climb up those leaderboards. So if GG can do just that, I know they tweeted out this morning, do or die. This is a moment where we must do everything in our power. So you mentioned they're very momentum-based, mental-heavy gamers. So if they can go and get some positivity from this and just ride that high into map number 6, would love to see them climb the leaderboard for today.
Yeah, I mean, it was day number 4, but
俺
like, we
これ
saw
終わったら
how
寝るわ。
pop-off moment, and after that, we all were looking at Gaming Gladiators as the squad that could now start ramping up as the rest of the EMEA days were coming to us.
もうね
But again, it was about that
疲れ
spot
と
positioning that
酔
really
いで
elevated their gameplay, allowed them to
ダメ
clean
だ
up all the stragglers that came in from the wall, because this is where we saw a lot of the action go down.
お先に見させていただきます。はい、おやすみなさい。最高。ありがとう。最高。
Very hot and heavy with the ability to take out fire beavers without taking a
水飲も
significant amount of
水飲んでなかっ
damage,
た
and VZN having to do everything they could to fight for their positioning. Reply Totem rather lackluster throughout
黒だらけのコントロール
making their presence known with that interesting charge rifle per se.
あれねすごかったけどなんか途中で試合終了になったこれしかない記憶が
Even if they did, like Nightmare, they were inevitably going to land on a team that was already holding a choke point, where we saw a lot of action coming out from ZN. Currently, you saw the 3 Muppets also having a pretty rough game, having to play that out as a duo, but Ascend who held the
なんか知らないけど途中で終わった試合が
It was this area of the game in particular where we got the listen in from Ember and hearing them navigate these fights that they were taking. You know, we've got to ape right.
いやそう俺なんかさバッチバチにやろうかなと思ってスウェーデンでさ
Then the Ascend fight with 3 Muppets
世界大会の人のみのコントロール
towards the south side where they just found themselves pinched in the
なんか終わったかって
every team in the lobby, and V2 going out early trying to save themselves, but Gaming Gladiators coming in at 15th in that moment, climbing their way out of 20th with a lot of success.
Especially after the performance in the game previous to that, right? Trying to get a 50-50 done on Phoenix Legacy and Northpad, they finally landed in check.
あー世界大会優勝して
Southside, and they end up with 9 KP and the dub on top of it all. 21 points to their name after taking that W. And Ascend still may not have been getting the W here.
まあ優勝はしなくともさ日本チーム一番上で行きたい
I know it was relatively hard on Ascend, but they are consistently doing well here. I guess I was just so excited and knowing that they've been breaking records, but jumping on over to 11 through 20. It starts with in 11th. Phoenix Legacy still there as well, but it's Pioneers, it's Foot Esports, Fire Beavers, teams that have the ability to throw down and take the lead. The question is, will they come out swinging in map number 6?
We're gonna have to see as we take a look at the series results currently right now. Game.
ゆきおさん髪長っ止めた方がいいやろこれは
同じムーブしいつもチェックポイント取ったらフナティックこれノーセップいけなくなったはい
ジュースナにいける
いいじゃん全滅でしたそしてその弾いたクレジラ君パーマンス3ゲーミングが6キルミラージです多分ミラージですかミラージと
今のめちゃくちゃいい飛び出しだな
世界大会ほぼ決まっているというところ
おお強うま今の完全にいいいやでもうまいなマジで、まあ、しっかりとミラージュに宮城
敵に対してが来たか相手そう声出したんじゃないですか今初デコイアウト飛ばしてましたよ今ここに移動しましょう18ポイントでマッチポイントです
そうだな
ポイント
入れるときは入って、下アンチョのときとか、こういう上アンチョのときは、クリプトで索敵しながらバルジャンで入っていく感じなんだろうね。の量を取って。これがミーティアのケツから来てんな。ファン VS ヴィランの戦闘を今日振ろうとしてたミーティアの。
さんの影響で全員回答し。そうなんだ。
力。
雪男様伸ばさ方がいいだろ。
ぶしいな。
山田さん伸ばしてもいい感じなのかな。
熱いな。打ったら PG なかなかファイトに向かない構成だから。
わかんねえ俺。
さすがにこのゴリゴリ。
俺もさ、自分伸ばした方がいいのか伸ばさない方がいいのかわかんないんだよね。結局襟足切ったけど。
きついか、こういう場所でのファイトは。いや、いいダメージ。別に一回。いや、リグいいな。リグが取ってる場所めちゃくちゃいいぞ。船って多分こういうファイトは仕掛けないんだよな、多分。こういう1対1のファイトってあんま仕掛けないイメージがある。それよりかは、この次のアンチとかで中入って、で、ミーティア VS ファン。ミーティアこれ行くんやな。強気。いや、いい。ワンベアワンベツああないか。だいぶだるそう。それがちょっと前に出てみてんだよ。それを言う。キノトロープもう無理じゃん、これ。で、これデトネーションが中継からこっち側に来たのか。でもデトネーションはバルはいるのか。バルいない。まあ、結局もう原点回帰。この構成。でもこの構成だったら洞窟も詰めれるぞ。で、フナティックこうなんだよな。このタイミングでバルキリージャンプでこのポジション入ってだよな。いや、なんか、ムーブが一貫してるよな。フナ 1v1 ファイトは仕掛けないんだよな。有利な戦闘しかやんないからな、大体。あれ、ノーセップどこだ？一周アンチまでのトンネルで死んだ。先に。だよな。フローラがこれリグに。橋の向こう側強そうだけどね。さあ。おー。これはヴィランは死んだけど、キルは取れてんのか。ヴィラン。漁夫の2キルと、10位で2ポイント。
ミラージュ何回見てもおもろいな。
4、5ポイントやから。
ミラージュおもろいな。なんでミラージュなの？
フナ強いな。
どうなってキャラピックをミスったんだろう。
で、バス中にグレを入れれればいいんだけど、でもパルブレックスがあるからな。これ今ミラージュじゃなかったら死んでたな、メルトステラ。これは刺さったな。
ポンピノです。
これフローラに対してか、これ。デトネーションだよな、これ。やっぱ原点にして頂点か、あの構成が。フナテックやりきるか。後ろやりきる。うまい。うまいが。さすがに、ワンブイワン。うわーうますぎだけど。でも先にフナが死んだから、リグ全部キル取れたな、3キル。パルも死んだけど、パルブは転倒はいや、フローラいいぞ。頑張れ、フローラ。FC か。確かに右の上、ハイポジションを抑えれればいいけど。
これさ、本当に 3-3？ 本当に 3-3？ 本当に 3-3？ あ、左のバス、左のバス、左のバス、左のバス、青浜ね、左のバス。これ、あ、やり合わせれば勝ち、やり合わせれば勝ち。
いいね、いいね、いいね。いい抑え方。あ、でも三宅が右に行っちゃうと。
いや、ダメ。行かないで。
確かに待てばいい。これどうする？
大丈夫。ゆっくり。こっち来て、こっち来て。こっちが一番強い、こっちが一番強い。
いやー、右上取られるか、これ。三宅だけ右上抑えたいな。FC はでも気づいてないな、右上のバスが空いてる。
左は弱いから、青浜だから。
FC は気づいてない。いや、右取りてー、これ。右のバス行きてー。いや、FC が行ってくれた。三宅気づいてない、三宅。あれ、向かう気の位置に。
ナイス
ピノタ強い。
上取る。
1V っす。
降りていい
3V3V1 か。
バレやった。
2V2 か。
ナイスよしナイス。いや、熱いわ。よくやった。ナイスクッシュ
ナイスクッシュ。ピノタうますぎんだろ。いや、ピノタさんがあの右上のパスから右上のパス取ったのもマジでうまいし、 G7 で無双してたら
イエーイ。
Stay silent here, Vicky. I did not say anything to the extent of cursing that team by any means. Was not.
俺酔っ払ってそんな動きできねえよ今。何がなんだかわかんねえ。
Answering back, you can see just how much damage they've been doing. Whether it's Phoenix Legacy, whether it's Startify, and Startify now out.
And this was all initiated by Phoenix Legacy, who, by the way, are still alive. Certified can't say the same, who are out of this lobby, the last squad.
いやー、いいね。フローラいいコールしてんな。フローラいいコールしてるわ。素晴らしい。本当に。
Pulling more so towards where Ascend like to hang out, where Turkish Stars are in the middle of rotating on the outside of Jurassic Park. Phoenix Legacy need to help reset.
Ooh, Sabs with the 200 IQ fence play marking off the grav cannon. So once the res comes into play, if anyone wants to hit that, no worries, they're gonna hit the Watson fences. You do have some teams just on
いや、
the
一
north
旦
side.
引いてコールがマジでよかった。やっぱその、俺から見てる視線と三宅から見てる視線は違うから、いけるかどうかっていうのもやっぱ後ろの人が分かりやすいから、自分言ってくれることで、あ、俺も引けるんだなって思うし、前の人も。そういうところもね、含め俺うまいと思うんだよ。味方の状況、味方のコールをちゃんと受け入れる。大事なんですよね。だから味方を信じる。でも大事。前線の役割も。
When you say other teams, all I can think of is Game Ward. They've been the thorn in the side. They'd probably do so thus far here today. But Aurora currently sitting in second place, making their name.
自分の方が正しい意見なのか、味方の方が正しい意見なのかをちゃんと区別できるのが勝敗分けるね。
They have the beacon available to them, and with the ring just on the outskirts of Down Beast, I don't believe that they are.
あれは味方の方がいい。
They want that information.
判断だと思ったから下がったんだよ。その判断をすぐできる人はマジで強いと思う。自分の考えを持ちすぎて、味方が言っても引かない人がいるから。他のことを考えすぎててみたいな。何このアンチ？このアンチ見ないとわかんない。はいはいはい。まあ、ミルが入ってる場合は、まあ結構こっち寄るよね、ミルに。こ からちょっとわかんないな。こっからは。
Thermites going out for some early damage. Maybe it's gonna force them off the high ground. It looks like that team that kind of came up on GG going to force themselves to disengage, which I respect. You don't want to go out early on, especially in map number 6 when we have regional finals on the horizon. Every point is going to be
強気なコールが冴えてるとマジでいいね。
inside that top 20 for the
マジでいい。
chance to play to get to split one playoffs, and this is kind of a nice positioning for them. They can hold this choke area. Be rather interesting if a team decided to zip up on them.
I do believe there is a team off the low ground. You can see the pings coming in, even though Gaming Gladiators, but you can see the footsteps. I was going to say, they don't have the seer, so that way they have the heartbeat sensor, but they do have the footsteps getting picked up by Leogri on that Bloodhound. So they know that there was a squad that was trying to creep up behind them. Who could it be who's rotating from that north pad area? We know that 3 Muppets was in the area. I believe it was KCP who were right next door to 3 Muppets at one point. It looks like they are taking a different angle to rotate away, and Gaming Gladiators are now coming up on a squad from the low ground.
Bang ult going out from Sunset, and Leogri throwing down so much damage while not taking a lot themselves. So this could be a really well-timed fight for them. Sunset already finding the first down onto Plum, so this could be 3 Muppets on the other side for them in a 3v2 scenario. Mostly healthy, frag grades going out. I mean, Vicky, this is all you could ask for. Gaimin carrying the success from map number 5, just really laying it on them.
Oh, he managed to pop the shield at the very end, but Gaming Gladiators need to restabilize just as quick after they're able to eliminate 3 Muppets. We know who's going to be rotating from down B, so none other than Gameward, who are getting involved right next. Saw them right in front of Leogri, but he was busy real quick trying to restabilize. Now they're just trying to force their way on the outside of the circle. Can Sunset pull off that syringe before Gameward to send it to them on the outside of that circle?
Bro, they disengaged. They were like, we gotta get out of dodge. You saw the black hole coming in from Yolu. But the fact is, Gaming Gladiators pushed into the zone further to disengage. Now, hopefully they were able to get some heals off those bodies, or maybe they were like, hey, let's go hit a bat, get some shields going in, and then throw back in. But Psycop does have the Rolling Thunder still available.
16 squads left, and Gameward holding that #1 spot. They are out for blood. They want as much KP as they can work with to ensure that they take that first place spot for day number 8 here in the EMEA region. They're just going to play on the outside of the circle while Gaming Gladiators are going to be taking a huge chunk of damage with this next circle closing in. They were able to reset, and they have hard decky for the skyward dive just in case they want to fly right over their heads.
This is really interesting. You've got Gameward and Gaming Gladiators both coming into match day number 8 in 19th and 21st place. So both of these teams facing relegation potentially. And we were talking about it was the storyline. Only so many teams can make it into that split one playoffs, but you have to get through the regional finals thus far. And with Gameward coming in incredibly strong here today, they're doing what we asked them to do.
They're out here trying to perform as they rotate away from the circle, making sure to keep track of their 6. Gaming Gladiators have not moved from the replicator. They're okay taking this damage because with the replicator, they'll just be able to get extra med kits. Again, they have that skyward dive that could use to just get them out of the circle, something that Gameward doesn't have. So they're forced to rotate no matter what. And with some of the noise that was made over by Down East, they have to be careful to make sure that there's no other squad in the area that can contest them in this direction. They saw that BZN were landing in mill. They were able to trade just a little bit, poke some shots. Would it be surprised if BZN is still at the mill? Why would they move from this spot when they have the information of where the circle is going to be pulling, since there is that beacon on the outside of mill? So they have the information that the other squads are trying to fight for with the crypto drones.
Very interesting. I would love to see Gameward kind of get to the rooftop of the mill and play that area. They do have the grav lift available.
おー、見る夜ね。これ GW いいっすね。
Может, вообще развернемся, пойдем на мил на файт, если что. Если конемся на мил, будем там файтиться.
どう行くんすかゲーミンググラディエーター。
Я вообще пешком понизу пойду, мне хилиться надо просто.
Я дам скан, наверное. Даю.
Лакнитесь снизу. Будем идти вместе.
Подправил него сквозь.
Мы должны изи этот файт выиграть, если челы прямо на пауках стоят. Просто их будут с мило ебать.
Ну, у нас все кнопки есть.
Да, там застройка, Ватсон. Будем их вместе с зоной, наверное, душить. У нас просто тут будет спейс.
Я правом чеке никого не вижу. В левом доме тоже все закрыто вроде как. Может направо чек?
Там застроено.
Не, нам надо будет...
Я бы хотел под мост, но я думаю, там 100 просто тупы. Нет, тут какая-то просто, блядь, вафлёная стоит.
Не, еще слева от пинга. Прям на пинге еще есть.
Пойдем пробуем.
Будешь щита, я левее пойду.
Мы прям сейчас кнопками пикаем.
Это хард, блядь. Не, без кнопок, без
В
кнопок.
ближнем доме может быть чел, мне дай скан?
Да. Посмотрю, если спину хард только слева могут выйти.
Да,
мы сейчас должны их зажимать, по идее, вместе с мостом. Может, это чел с моста вообще был. Он убрал фансу, да.
Да, там никого нет, нормально.
Спину-то закрываем. Закрываем. У нас вот тут уже зона, да.
Спину
закрывать.
Давай.
Стой на доме, Лень.
Я просканю вперед. Окей, я просканю вперед и посмотрю.
Санс может смотреть с...
Окей, пусть Санс смотрит,
Не, мы с собой вдвоем закроем зону.
Я эту сторону закрываю.
Да.
Они фулл съебали.
Ну, патроны вижу в доме. И медкит я беру.
Давай, бери. Стана вроде никто не вышел. Чока тоже не вижу.
Возможно, мы сможем убить мост, если много дэмэджа дадим. Но у нас пока синие надо будет напаукать их на фиолы.
Зон сока, да?
We should cruise over there.
Да, можешь дальше, можешь идти.
Он может сюда прокнуть, вообще спокойно.
Не вижу никого слева. Слева full free. Право?
Да.
Слева full free. Право?
Да, ченька не вижу. Окей, стакаемся в зоне.
Еще раз скан дам налево.
Нет, не давай скан.
Блядь, я уже кушку нажал.
Ладно, похуй.
Но я до этого туда сканил.
Я хочу справа пикнуть прямо сейчас.
Дом выглядит фри.
Нет, там
похуй на дом. Прямо сейчас справа втроем пикаем под мост. Может нокнуть. Слышите меня? Мы справа сейчас можем нокнуть типа и добить, если он как долбоёб стоит под мостом. Раз, два, три. Он лоу. Гранату пробуй кидать. Забейте.
Одному 120 дал.
Забейте.
Я на фиолку.
Мы просто вот этим домом будем играть. Будем просто этим домом играть.
はい。こんな感じか。見る少ないね。見るワンパしかいないね。さあ、ここはどの視点を見ろうかな。
I'm gonna
You wanna wrap really wide?
Anchor me. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for right now.
KCB 2人?
Because they don't have a good spot next either, so they might be like 3-ping something. Oh, there's...
Another bogey.
誰オーロラ見ようかな。
Иди нахуй, ебаный.
オーロラ飛ぶ手段ないけど。
Ты чилишь, чем?
こっからどう動くんや?
Смотришь его? Посмотри раньше с ним, пожалуйста. Смотрю. Он пикает нас. Блять. Я умереть сейчас могу.
Я тебя сейчас покаверю.
Меня схватано, передо мной трахать, Малик. Я
покаверю. Меня тоже справа.
Блять, нет. Стену даю.
Давай. Пушим. В упоре. Сзади идет сольно.
Все, что?
いやー、これしんど。終わったな。え、ケーシ
We need to follow this Vanguard team. They're getting shot up by the house, so we have a time to cross right now.
On our left, really close.
Yeah,
I think we're good. No, we're not good.
We need to shoot. We need to shoot behind.
Cracked one.
Back
Nice,
low.
nice. They're both low. Knock one.
I missed. Knock. Last guy.
Nice. I'm fighting nice. I'm gonna try to
All
get
yours,
a PC.
all dead.
Nice.
うますげ。
On me, safe on me. Oh fuck.
Use me. They're gonna full send you. They're full sending you. Play alive. Full sending you. Wait, shoot them. They're gonna die.
Okay.
Shoot them, shoot them, shoot them. You have to take my Kraber, shoot them. Shoot them, shoot them. They're gonna shot in the cross. No, in the smoke, in the smoke, in the smoke. Take my Kraber. Right there, take my Kraber. You have to start playing big boy now. Top 5. You fucking fuck them up with Kraber, baby!
I'm gonna fuck them up.
Fuck them up!
I'm so bad.
It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Next better, next is better. Yeah, come again, come again, come again.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit him again. Oh fuck. Alright.
Run.
Oh. Fucking run. God, my Kraber is so fucking bad, bro. I can't. Alright, whatever. 5 and 3. 5th.
陽気やな、この人は。
This could be their game to win, Vicky, and honestly, it would be really nice for me to say, hey, one of my teams to watch really succeeded here. I'm not cursing anyone anymore.
And this will also allow Fire Beavers to elevate their way in the top 3 right now. Let's jump into a listening with Foot to see what their next plan is with a mobile race pod right in front of their face.
Doesn't matter. Spawn is standing right side of us.
Where the 3 teams are?
There's one team up there. I see an enemy over there. One team in the building, and I think one team on the rock, like further up.
Yeah.
Okay. They go up here. Yeah, up here. They're gonna run down here. They're gonna run down here.
Okay.
Look if this team is aping us. They're gonna call back. I'm using my MP. I'm gonna get my MP ready. Give me MP ready for that.
One nade. Is there more nades?
Wait. Here.
このチームいいね。これワンチャンさ、上なんじゃない最初のチーム。上かなんかサプライボックスのとこなんじゃない右の方か、なんかサプライボックスと柵があるとこ。この家のチームはどちらにしよう。まあ、良さそう。この家か、ミルのチームは、ミル1人かミル3人か。全部フルか。
Yeah, people are gonna play that wall. We have.
Okay. Boys, be ready when they slide down. When this team slides down, we.
家下いればいいのに、ファイアビーバーズ。何そのアンチ。やっぱそうだね、柵のとこだよね。
Lovely comms coming in from Foot Esports, making their next move, but also predicting where the other teams want to fight and where they want to approach right here. Fire Beavers, though, without the safety of the building, are currently in the line of sight of BZN, who not only land over by Mill, but they're also a squad that has the ability to have the high ground to look at all the action happening right below their feet.
Look at all the space that VZN is looking to occupy. You heard it in the comms from Foot. They were saying this team is going to play the high ground, and they are doing just that. Taskmaster still alive from Fire Beavers, but unfortunately going to fall just there. The fact is, they were able to survive for this long. I don't know if this res is going to go off in time. This is going to be very damaging from the ring, but able to slide out just in time. Now turning their attentions onto Foot, finding a nice shield crack, but VZN just biding their time and taking up all the space.
家のチームが一番いいね。
Exit out of here to not get the circle damage. They need to get into the air, but into the
いやでもあれか、いや違うわ。奥のミドルチームが一番広く取れてるな。
Here comes the EMP. Foot want to secure as much KP as they possibly can work with since they've been playing this game so patiently.
V2 now eliminated, so it's going to be a 3v3 VZN versus Foot Esports, and all the damage going out, but they're going to have to make their way, and VZN is split with a lot of different LOSs, and trying to destroy that ult, but now not last alive.
BZN had the game position advantage, and they take our final game of the day with the kill leader to their name here too. They worked with so much there in the mill, and they were able to hold that defensive position on the high ground without trying to overcommit too much.
Yeah, that was really interesting. You heard them say, VZN, we know they're playing the roof. We do not want to challenge them for that raid day, but what do you think?
めっちゃ上位固まってる。あ、この今のチャンピオンチームが1位だね、そのまま。
For the first moment that you need it, which is throughout maybe the the chaos of the
まあ
fighting.
オーロラは
But
強
when
い
you
ね。
have
ア
to
セントちょっ
leave
とこけ
and
た
the
ね。
circle doesn't go your way, it does end up maybe being a hindrance because you're so predictable.
パイオニア
Your
もこ
movement
けて
can
る
only
ね。
come from one place, and it gives VZN a lot of angles on them coming out there. But it was a great performance across a lot of teams, Vicky. I mean, that circle, we were tracking it. I was looking and going, like, okay, they're alive, they're dead, they get past them. If they get these amount of points, they could win. I mean, there was a lot happening in Game 6.
まだ反映されてない
Yeah,
か
it
な。
was intense too. Even talking about the squads like Aurora, who
オーロラ
got
上がっ
gamed in
て
two
き
different
て、
directions by a Sentinel from Sab's hands, and then the Kraber in the hands of another
VZ
player
も上
too.
がってき
We
て、
saw Nasky light up the feed with the Kraber himself. So there was a lot of action happening on the
VZ
outside
が
where no
1
team
位
wanted
で
to fully commit. But in a
67。
circle like that where VZN have the high ground, they have the natural line of sight,
これ
getting out of the
か。
line of sight advantage by the hillside, and then
ま
not
あまだわ
putting
からん
themselves in a
ね。
vulnerable position
理由は。
between two squads. That was the game-winning position
まだわ
for
か
them
ら
to
ん。
hold. And before that game, I believe VZN was sitting in 8th place in the
まあ、
overall
セント
standings
ベ
for
ックスは
today.
もう
So
確定だ
that
ろう
is going to
な。
allow them to
オーロラ
elevate
も。
themselves in the overall standings.
VZN
オーロラも
started out their pro league journey with 1 point. They ended up with 7 points their next outing.
は
But
い、
then they made a switch. They had a
18ポ
day
イント
off
ぐら
and
い。
they came back with 18 points and then 16 points.
17
Those are
17
good,
か。
good spots. If VZN can mirror
17
that
だ
here
か
with a
ら。
game in hand, coming from Group C, being able to play again in day 9, they're going to have a chance. And they certainly will be in the mix to at least stay in Pro League, at least be in that regional
93 ぐ
final
らい。
tip. So VZN winning that, it means more than just taking that game. It means that they might have given themselves a chance
上だ
to
ね。
really have either a chance to move
パイオ
forward
ニア
or
が
at least to stay
だ
and
い
have
ぶ
a
こけ
chance
て
in the
る。
regional final.
Yeah, when you think about
で
it,
も
it's
こ
the
けてる
teams
けど、
coming in from the preseason qualifiers.
い
That's
けるだ
where
ろ。
VZN kind of started, right? They came in, played their
7ポイン
first
ト。
match day as a duo to be able to bring
だ
in
から、
Nags. And
パイオ
from
ニア
then,
が
I
6
feel like
で
it was
80
just
ポイ
kind
ン
of
ト。
finding the warm
まあ、
up, right?
次
A
の
little
リー
bit
ジョ
of
ンファイナル
slow burn. They
で
needed to kind of get the
10
wheels
ポイント
turning,
稼げば
find some
いける。
success. We got to bring Nags on the broadcast, talk to
パイ
them,
オ
and
ニア
you
は。
could just hear that he said himself, you know, I wasn't even going to play anymore. I was pretty much done, but this is the team that I wanted
よ
to
し。
find
じ
success
ゃあ
with,
俺は
and I'm glad that they
寝よう
are.
かな。
Element 6, Case, Winnie, and Slayers, and Nags, formerly
寝ま
the team,
す。
now Lifen coming into Element 6, Lifen
いい
getting,
感じに
I
乗ったん
think,
で。
taken out of that roster, Nags
いっ
coming
ぱい
over
寝
to
ます。
VZN, taking this route, a little bit of a harder route,
じゃあ
but he
EU ミ
ended
ラ
up
ー、
working out
こ
for
こら
them.
辺で終わりたいと
Game
思いま
Wars,
す。
also a team that could be close to a top 3 finish here.
はい、じゃあお疲れ様です。ありがとうございました。おやすみなさい。